each final for all 4 mats to conclude action. We will also be taking breaks every couple of matches for our podium presentation. But we're going to get started out here in these championship finals. We got Jackson Angelo of Lake Highland Prep taking on Santino Rodriguez at a Don Bosco Prep.
Santino with a dominating performance. It was only 6-2 in the semis, but he controlled that entire match. Real impressed with his fundamentals and explosiveness in the semifinals.
Angelo, the number 19 ranked wrestler in the country, while Rodriguez number 13. And it's Rodriguez that's in on the attack, but they go out of bounds.
Angelo from Lake Highland Prep in Orlando, Florida, a new national power, somebody that maybe has missed the last few years. Lake Highland Prep has arrived, and they're on the national scene competing with the best in the country.
You mentioned Lake Highland Prep. They are in a very competitive team race between the top three teams here at Beast of the East. Blair Academy currently sitting in first with 242 points. Lake Highland Prep shortly following behind in second with 236 points, and Malvern Prep in third with 225 points. Those 3 teams, 3 of the top 6 teams in the country. All 3 teams with several finalists apiece. Could really come down to the wire here
and
for a team title.
Blair having an incredible December, second at Ironman, and they are young. We were looking at their roster. I think they have 10 sophomores, so they're young, and they could be on the rebuild year. They've been great for a long time. Last couple years have been taking their lumps from Wyoming Sem and some other schools, but I'm going to say I think Blair might be back.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, very young team. It's Angelo in on an attack. Crotch lock for Rodriguez, and he's going to be able to hold on for the stalemate. We're down to 39 seconds to go. No score here in our opening final. Little fire off the whistle there by Rodriguez. He's going to be issued his first caution of the match.
An absolutely stacked field, 201 teams here for the 33rd annual that you mentioned. 36 ranked guys and 9 of the top 40 teams in the country.
Nice high crotch, head outside for Rodriguez, trying to cut corner here. See blocking that arm now, trying to sit corner is Angelo. Now he's kind of coming into him, trying to get that foot back down to the mat. Rodriguez staying tough, staying on the leg, now cuts it back, looking to cut double, and beautiful defense by Angelo, able to bring him up into over-under, get that foot back down to the mat, and we're short time here to go in the first period.
Just really beautiful wrestling, and you can see both these guys at the next level because their fundamentals are strong, they don't take wild chances, and they're really basic good wrestlers. All that can translate really well to the next level at a high level. I think we may be seeing these guys wrestling at NCAA someday.
Yeah, you mentioned next level for these two. Rodriguez is senior, headed to Cornell next season, while Angelo also is senior, committed to West Virginia. It's Angelo's choice to start the second period. He's going to go down. Angelo had a strong performance at Ironman last week, ended up taking 8th at 175 pounds in what's always an incredible Ironman field. One of the undoubtedly toughest tournaments in high school right now, and this one following not too far behind.
I just feel like Ironman has separated themselves recently from the pack, above Doc Buchanan, above the Beast, and that they are the premier tournament right now. Absolutely stacked meat grinder field. I was looking at some kids that wrestled that tournament and this tournament. They've been through it the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, really, really tough December for a lot of these high-level high school teams. We'll have more action next weekend coming at you with our Powerade Wrestling Tournament. You'll see a lot of these teams competing there as well. But to start the period out, Angelo earns his escape to go up 1-0. Both these guys have been able to get in deep on leg attacks, haven't found a way to finish yet.
Talking about some of the weight classes here, 113, 5 ranked guys, 150, 6 ranked guys, 3 number 1s and 3 number 2s. Beast of the East, always an enjoyable event. Here in Newark, Delaware, really is kind of putting Delaware on the map for wrestling. Very small state, but loves their wrestling.
Nice level change by Angelo. Now snap by Rodriguez. He looked to run corner there. Angelo able to pop back up to his feet, but using that underhook, looking to go to the far knee pick was Rodriguez, and wisely there by Angelo. Able to get his hips under him, look to go re-attack on the drag. We slide out of bounds with 47 seconds to go. It's a good attack there by Rodriguez. Angelo's shown off a lot of strong defense so far.
Just so impressed with Angelo's hips his low center of gravity and his ability to get out of trouble. Just super impressive from this young man. Gets away with a little bit of a bad shot there, but he's right back up.
And he's got seatbelt, does Angelo. Rodriguez able to clear it.
Talking about the team race, Malvern's in third. They got a few guys in the finals. Bishop McCord after that, and Notre Dame Green Pond from Easton, Pennsylvania.
Rodriguez back in on the single leg, looking to cut double this time, able to convert, and good persistence there by Rodriguez as Angelo was able to square up for a moment and start feeding him hips. Rodriguez stayed on it. They're not going to award the takedown there. Man, I guess I wasn't really paying attention to the official and his call there. I was just watching the action. They're going to say Rodriguez went out of bounds and came back in. Wow, a crucial call there.
I'm going to say the Iron Men coaches absolutely agree with your call on that.
Yeah, that's interesting call. I guess I wasn't necessarily paying attention to the feet of Rodriguez if he possibly stepped out of bounds and came back in. But that's a huge call right there, huge for Angelo, as he's now going to take the 1-0 lead into the third. Rodriguez's choice, he's going to go down. And we'll see what kind of ride Angelo can put on here in the third.
In championship matches, sometimes calls like that change the whole tenor of it, the whole strategy, and definitely going to change the outlook of the third period. Instead of it being 3-1, it's 1-0, you're down. He needs an escape to come here and tie it up.
Yeah, absolutely huge. Nice little changeover up to his feet is Rodriguez. Dropping down to the legs is Angelo, and he's going to have to work up here. He's got to improve here. Don't want to give up a stall warning if you're Angelo. He's able to kind of break Rodriguez back down to his hands, and they go out of bounds. Just 16 seconds ticked off the clock here in the third period.
Don Bosco in Ramsey, New Jersey, really well-known non-public football team, one of the highest-ranked football teams in the country. They're a wrestling team, not too far behind, though, with guys like Santino Rodriguez here.
Nice little nugget there, Scott. Didn't know that. Don't know too much about high school football, so that's interesting even for me. Quad pod stand for Rodriguez. Angelo brings him back, but popping right back up is Rodriguez. Roll by Rodriguez. Now he's in position for a reversal, and he's going to get it. Angelo's got to be wise here and belly down. Rodriguez had him in trouble there for a moment to possibly pick up near fall. But just like that, Rodriguez takes the 2-1 lead, and we'll see how committed to the ride he is now.
Yeah, in a situation like that, every wrestling coach in the whole stadium says, take 2, not 6. So let's belly out and live to fight another day.
Absolutely. That could be kind of a game changer right there, or a match killer if you're Angelo, if you give up near fall there. Rodriguez did a nice job, got that crossfoot return out of bounds. Got 1:12 to go. No stall warnings on Rodriguez.
Refs have been doing a good job of just letting them wrestle here tonight. We're calling that a tangerine shirt for day 2 of the Beast of the East.
Yeah, hard to miss the officials as Rodriguez gets a big lift and return.
They said it's a very calming effect on the coaches. Whether or not that's true, I don't know.
That's an interesting take on that. Wow, nice job by Angelo, able to get his hips clear. The Don Bosco coaches do not agree with that escape call. The official's going to have a word with the side official. They're going to talk about this one. They're going to go ahead and award the escape to Angelo. It's going to tie the match at 2. A couple calls so far going kind of towards Lake Highland Prep's way. And that's tied the match at 2 now.
Yeah, lead referee Mumford, been a Delaware referee, I want to say 30 years. Done a lot of state finals match, does the Beast every year. A lot of Delaware guys in here, and they're proud of doing the Beast, and they get to see some really high-level wrestling.
Now it's a high crotch for Angelo. He's in, cutting off to the double roll by Rodriguez. Last-ditch effort, able to get himself square for now, and beautiful defense there by Rodriguez as he looked dead to rights. That was kind of a last-ditch effort there for him. Hits that roll, and he's able to square up. We're back up on our feet, just 10 seconds to go, and we might be opening the night with some extra wrestling.
Just really impressed by Rodriguez's ability not to give up late points and force the issue here. So I think he's in good position going here into the first overtime of the night for the finals.
Headed to sudden victory. 1 minute on the clock. Any score wins here. We're going to go on blood time, it looks like, for Rodriguez. Looked like he did a little swipe of the lip and showed the official.
New wrestling fans always say the same thing. It's got to be the toughest sport in the world. It's the only one with blood time.
Yeah, allotted time in the mat, build into the match for somebody to bleed.
You can bleed, but you can't stop wrestling. You have to continue. I don't care how much you bleed.
Greatest sport in the world, as our PA man Kenny said earlier. And we've seen both guys get in really close to finishes on leg attacks. And it comes down to really who's going to convert here in sudden victory. Interested to see who takes the first attack.
I always think that overtime victories in big finals like this are also a good indication of what their college career is going to look like, because so many of these matches in college come down to something like this, one takedown.
And nice head outside attack by Angelo, kind of going like gator bacon, high flyer. Now it's Rodriguez on the counter, in on the single leg, cutting off to the double. Angelo continuing to run his feet, not giving this one up easy. Oh my gosh, what defense by Jackson Angelo.
Incredible defense, incredible. And if they were on a college-sized mat, that might have been a takedown. But when you land on the photographer, it's definitely not 3 here.
If you're saying Tino Rodriguez, you got to be thinking, what do I got to do to get a finish on this guy? As he fires off another attack in on the high crotch, crossface by Angelo, able to keep his feet on the mat, continuing to run his feet. Rodriguez staying on the leg, trying to cut it back. Able to get to crackdown. He's got both legs tied up, and finally Santino Rodriguez able to convert for the takedown. Incredible match, incredible persistence there by Santino Rodriguez, a Don Bosco prep. And he's going to take it 5-2 in sudden victory. He's your 175-pound Beast of the East champion.
And they're celebrating in Ramsey, New Jersey. Santino Rodriguez with an absolute gem of an overtime victory here at the Beast of the East.
We're gonna get a little replay action here. Here was the Granby by Rodriguez that gave him the lead in the third period with the reversal. I believe coming up here is the high crotch crackdown for the takedown in overtime for Santino Rodriguez. And he's our first champion of the night at 175 pounds. And we're gonna move up to our next championship final here, 190-pound championship. We got Sala Sarnia Blair Academy in the silver, blue, white singlet, green ankle band. He's taking on Dominic Sampolik out of Notre Dame Green Pond in the gold and blue singlet, red ankle band.
And Dominic has had an absolutely great tournament. He shoots this low kind of double, switches to a single. He's been able to finish on it a ton all tournament. One of the main guys, the number 1 seed at 190, Tanner Hodgkin of Howell, New Jersey, U17 bronze medalist. That's how tough the Beast is. He was knocked down in the semifinals.
And beautiful attack and finish there by Sampolik, and he goes up 3-0. These two actually hit last week in the quarterfinals of the Ironman. It was Sampolik taking it before going on to finish 5th. Sarni came back and finished 4th in that weight class. They're ranked number 10 and 11 in the country. Sarni, as you mentioned, in that semifinal, a huge win over number 4 Tanner Hodgins. He was down 6-5 late, able to get a nice little drag go behind with 2 seconds on the clock to take out the U17 world bronze medalist.
And Blair in Blairstown, New Jersey, really in one of the most beautiful areas of New Jersey. Long history. Coach Buxton's done a great job over the years allowing people to come into the room, guys from all over the country, and people say it all the time, Blair wrestling in high school in New Jersey has made United States wrestling better.
Absolutely, man. They were kind of the standard in the national preps for years, a long time, and now teams like Wyoming Seminary, Lake Highland Prep really starting to level up, and you got to think a lot of that has to do with just how good Blair was for so long.
Yeah, and a lot of people are following that blueprint too, and when you're successful like that, people definitely want to come for you, and I think Blair has really embraced it, to be honest with you, and they've reloaded, and they're in a great position. I love where Blair is right now.
Yeah, coming into the year, you don't really know what to expect out of Blair Academy. A lot of young guys, a lot of unranked, unproven guys, but as you mentioned last week, finished second at Ironman in the team race behind number 1 Faith Christian Academy. This week they currently are in the lead in the team race here, just 2 weeks into the season, and Sampolik riding tough, looking to lock up far side cradle as Sarney comes up to quad pod. And Sarney, this is his first year at Blair, transferred in from Bullis Prep, where he competed a year ago. He was a runner-up at this tournament last season at 175 pounds, while I believe Sampolik finished 8th in that same bracket. So Sampolik making huge jumps year over year coming into his senior year of high school.
Yeah, Notre Dame Green Pond, also another school with a great tradition. Probably one of my favorite wrestlers from there is Ryan Cookham from Lehigh, who Cookham absolutely a monster, and we're really excited to see what he can maybe finally do with a whole season on the college level.
Yeah, hopefully Lehigh is able to get him to the lineup soon, coming off an injury year. The full period ride out after that early takedown for Sampolik, and he's going to take a 3-0 lead to the second as he goes down. Sampolik, a George Mason recruit, huge pickup for the Patriots as he's a senior. Sarney, just a junior, but already committed to Air Force. And that's a huge pickup for the academy.
Yeah, and I feel like the academies, sometimes they'll get recruits and really improve them and with the discipline. And I always say, guys if you're wrestling a guy from one of the academies, I guarantee you they're going to be in shape. Their technique or whatever, or their accolades, but they will be in shape and ready to go.
And they're going to make it hard on you. And if you take a guy like Sarney, he already has so many building blocks. As he looks to go slide by after giving up the escape, Sampolik able to stay square as they slide out of bounds. But yeah, Sarney already with so many building blocks to work on, to improve on. They could really make something special out of this kid someday.
Yeah, and Coach Kolaw at one of the academies at Navy, I think he's in an incredible spot there, just getting guys and teaching them and building. We loved him at Campbell, but I really think he's in an excellent spot at Navy.
Yeah, really taking them to a good place. I believe with 2 All-Americans last year at the NCAA tournament. Now it's Sarney. This is exactly the position he was in his semifinal against Tanner Hodgins. Trailed 4-0 in the second period, really picked up the pace in the second period. Headed to the third, was able to get escape takedown, gave up a reversal to go down 6-4. Was able to get that late takedown to win 8-6. Same position here. He's not rattled. He's going to keep coming as he earns a stall warning against Sampolik.
Yeah, and sometimes guys don't mind being from behind because they take ground and they move forward. When guys that are defensive and counter wrestlers are behind, those are the guys that get jammed up because they're, the action starts to slow down. There's nothing to do. But I feel like Salah has been in a great spot. Ooh, beautiful move by Dominic here.
Wow, and picks up another takedown. Nice work there by Sampolik. And he goes up 7-0, and he is looking incredible here in these finals against a guy that I've had really nothing but good things to say about all weekend in Sarney. Sampolik really proving where he should be on this national ladder.
The upper weights of Blair have really impressed me by being technically sound and slick and in really great shape. All from 75 on up, I think they're just real solid.
Yes, absolutely. Now 7-0 in favor of Sampolik, and a huge restart here for Sarney. You want to get yourself on the board at least here before the end of the period. Give yourself a chance to come back and win it in the third. But Sampolik riding tough, slides that left boot back in, able to break him down and extend him flat. Working on a power half now is Sampolik.
And the winner taking third from Howell, Tanner Hodgins.
I think if Sampolik holds on to win here, you're going to look back at his career and say, this might have been a defining moment, this tournament. I mean, he absolutely is putting together a masterful tournament.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on his career, he's been 7th and 5th at the Pennsylvania State tournaments. Never been a guy that's really been in that national top 10 conversation before. But to start out this season, man, he was 5th last week at Ironman, picked up a couple good wins there, including a win over Sarney, and now here in position to win a Beast of the East title. That's incredible improvement over year. Sarney goes neutral to start the third. He gets it on the low single, head under the knee, crotch lock by Sampolik, trying to take him over and trying to get his knees under him as Sarney now comes up, waterfall position, back door. Sampolik traps the arm, though, going to make it tough for Sarney to finish. Now, if you're Sarney, you might want to try putting him in danger here, try to stack him up on his shoulders. And it looks like that's what he's doing as you see him driving those feet into the mat, trying to put Sampolik back, pressure towards his shoulders, but we're going to get stalemated with 1:29 to go.
He's going to call blood time, too.
Looks like we got blood on Sampolik.
Listen, I've wrestled with guys, I swear they could bleed on demand.
Yeah, just when they need it, right?
They would only bleed if they were in a bad position.
Yeah.
Never if they were on top and rolling. Somehow they could hold it in. But I'm not saying he can, but people can definitely do that.
Just turn it on when they need it.
Like a faucet, turn it on. I need that time. I wrestled with a guy that he would always lose his contact, and we'd have to stop the match. Years later, he said, I got to tell you, I never wore contacts.
That is great. Never heard of that one before. Great tactic, though. And we're back to action. Post on the single leg. Similar position once again for Sarny. Crotch lock this time for Sampolik. Sarny trying to push that knee off, but the length really helping Sampolik out here as he's going to roll Sarny through. And now he's in position to score, getting height. He's got the feet elevated off the mat of Sarny. That's exactly what you want to do. And great escape there by Sarny, though, able to kick away and avoid what would be pretty much a match ender, you would say, for Sampolik if he were able to pick up another takedown. Working short offense, trying to hop over is Sarny. They go out of bounds with 52 to go. Another huge possibility here in the team race is a Blair loss could prove huge for Malvern Prep and Lake Highland Prep. There's a second stall warning on Sampolik. It's going to be a point for Sarny, make it 7-1. Now he's in on single leg, looking to go backside. Deep shin whizzer here, staying heavy, trying to keep that knee pointed towards the mat is Sampolik, but locking up near side cradle is Sarny. That's going to make it 7-4. He's going to try to keep his foot in bounds here and put Sampolik on his back. Just runs out of real estate, though. Man, that...
You got to love seeing that of Sarny, though, and the Blair wrestlers just never stop moving forward. He was in deep trouble there with that.
Yeah, no fear, just tried to go to that, goes up to the head and lock, and in a lot of positions you would say that's not standardly the best finish on a single leg, but when you're down 6 points, like, you got to go for it. Now it's 8-4 as Sarny gives Sampolik the escape. He's continuing to come forward, back in on another shot, low double.
Sarny has just continued to take ground this entire match.
Yeah, and it really seems like the length of Sampolik is just what's given him a lot of fits here as he puts him in trouble of possibly a non-controlled fall, but that's going to do it. It's an 8-4 victory for Dominic Sampolik of Notre Dame Greenpond. Incredible tournament and performance by him. Gets his second win over Salah Sarny this season. And he's your 190-pound Beast of the East champion. See him flex. He's fired up, man.
Yeah, and you got to think a mid-major like George Mason with this great commit here, they're hoping no one gets up tomorrow and reads the paper and sees that he won it and they come after him. But I think that's a career-defining moment for the Notre Dame wrestler. Congratulations.
Absolutely. Yeah. You see on the replay here just the work Sampolik was able to do. A lot of air being taken out of Sarny in that top position between the first and second period. And you see Sarny just had a hard time finishing on Sampolik. But we're going to move on up to our 215-pound championship final. We got Cash Colbert of St. Paul Catholic taking on Rocco Sarlino of Seton Hall Prep.
Yeah, Cash Colbert last year tore through this tournament to a championship. Rocco Salerno, I think he got knocked out in the quarterfinals last year, but he's been the most impressive guy for me. Absolute gem in the quarters. He was down 7-4, came up with a cradle pin, and beautiful throw and pin in the semifinals. This kid is a gamer, absolute gamer.
Colbert able to pressure forward, take Sarlino out of bounds, going to pick up a stall warning on Sarlino just about 20 seconds into the first period. And Colbert's gone all bonus points to the finals. Fall, tech fall, and a 12-3 major decision over Tyler Palumbo in his semifinal. It's been absolutely dominant and impressive.
Colbert's one of those guys you look at and go, I don't want to wrestle him.
Yeah,
He's got that look. He's just got that look. But Rocco not backing down.
Kind of opposing body types here is Colbert with the length, but also a high-pace, hard hand fighter's got a lot of nice attacks. Or Sarlino, as you can see, a little bit shorter, stockier as he fires in on the attack. It was Colbert looking for the go-behind. Now arm spin out of it, though, for Sarlino, and he was backside, just not able to bring Colbert back down to the mat. A nice job by Colbert. Was able to square up and then fired in on a low single of his own as we go out of bounds. No score, 50 seconds to go in the first.
Yeah, Salerno, Seton Hall Prep in West Orange, New Jersey. Also home to Seton Hall Pirates basketball team. They also have a good football team too. I think he's a two-sport athlete.
If I had to guess, probably football.
Absolutely.
Shot by Colbert, low single. Looking to cover to the double, now turns in, up towards the head. Also not always highly advisable, but he's able to make it work, avoid giving up like a crotch lock or chest lock, and he picks up the takedown. That's where, like, I've never had this luxury in my life. If you know me, I'm not very tall. The guys with the length, they can get away with a little bit more of like unconventional wrestling, as you normally have the leverage in most positions, especially when you're wrestling a guy shorter than you.
Absolutely.
And that was a situation that kind of seemed like right there. You don't normally see guys go from the legs and turn towards the head and able to pick up finishes, but Colbert was able to make it work there. Gets the ride out. He's going to take a 3-0 lead to the second period as he defers choice to Sorlino. Sorlino going to go down.
Yeah, Colbert from Paul VI in Alexandria, Virginia, school with a long history of tremendous athletes. Also has one of the best first names of any wrestler in this tournament.
Cash money.
Cash money, baby.
Colbert gets to work on top. I got to watch him in his semifinal. Really tough from the top position. As you see, Sorlino kind of throwing that right knee up. It almost seems as if he's baiting Colbert to throw a leg in.
Yeah, and that's actually what he did to escape in the quarterfinals.
Incredible. I love a good leg slip. Sorlino up to his feet. Nice job by Colbert. Drop into the ankle, able to kind of head wheel finish him back down to the mat. He's got him broken flat. A great position to ride now as he's got wrist control. I mentioned how dominant Colbert was to the finals. Sorlino, his only non-fall of the tournament so far was in his opening round match. He won 9-2. Then it's been 4 straight falls to get here. And now he's looking to kind of put hips on Colbert, work for a reversal. He's got to be careful here, rolling on bottom with this chest lock. Don't want to give up near fall swipes as Colbert's staying on the legs. He's got to work up here. Sure, Colbert, man, throw a half on right there. He might be in good position. Take him over, but nice job by Sorlino to belly out.
Colbert looking like he might apply for the remake of Vision Quest for the shoot part, perhaps.
Absolutely, man. Just long, tall, and got a good build to him. There's going to be the first stall warning on Colbert, though. Officials saying he's riding the hips, not really working for a turn.
Yes, stalling is very subjective, and I think sometimes when you get wrestlers from different states and in a national tournament and different referees, there's all different kinds of interpretations of it. So sometimes it's like a little bit of a feeling out period because you saw him kind of go like, wait, what? So I think, there's a little bit of a feeling out period too with the referees and the wrestlers.
Oh, for sure. Sorlino's able to earn his escape, though. Nice job late in the period. As you see it go fake and try to go wrist snap. With Colbert 2 hands on the wrist, wasn't able to circle and get that corner to the right, but really got him to bite on that fake. And Sorlino's coming forward late in the period. We're going to head to the third. Colbert leads 3-1. It's his choice. He's going to go down.
Looking at this on paper coming in, you had to think maybe it was a little bit of a mismatch, but I'm really impressed by the match Rocco Salerno's putting together. I mean, he's hanging in. He's within striking distance, third period. Colbert's down, but I think Salerno's right where he needs to be, especially based on his last 2 matches.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You got to imagine Sorlino probably not going to be too committed to this ride in the third period. Probably give yourself as much time as possible in the third to work for a takedown. He's going to give him the escape just 15 seconds in the period. Going to make it 4-1 in favor of Colbert. Both guys with warnings, though. Keep that in mind. You got to believe Sorlino's really going to pick up his pace now. See him get to that left side collar tie. High crotch by Sorlino. He's in, head outside. Trying to grab that near ankle. His Colbert, you see the long arms kind of coming into play there, helping him. Now working crotch lock, looking to sit corner. And Sorlino's got to keep that shoulder buried inside the knee, but Colbert with that ankle hooked.
An absolute gem of a shot, but Colbert just stuffed it.
Sorlino fighting for his life, trying to hang on to that leg, but nice work by Colbert, able to break the lock, picks up the takedown. It's going to extend it to 7-1. In a position like this, you got to imagine that's an icer right there for Colbert.
Yeah, it's going to be a mountain to climb here in this situation. So talking a little bit about the tournament, there's a Governor's Cup that they give out every year for the highest placing in-state team. So a lot of in-state teams are here that are traditionally out of their element. So Cape Henlopen tied for 21st, so they're going to win the Governor's Trophy. They had 3 guys wrestling on day 2, and they got a freshman that placed 5th. So congratulations to them. And then Caesar Rodney came in 2nd in the Governor's Cup. So great showing by Delaware. They've had some lean years, but they had several placers this year, and Cape Henlopen won the Governor's Cup. So great job.
Yeah, really not an easy feat coming in here and having a good performance as a team or as an individual, as Solino gets his escape to make it 7-2. So hats off to all these competitors this weekend. But that's going to do it. It's a 7-2 decision for Cash Colbert. He goes back-to-back at the Beast with a dominant performance, and he's your 215-pound Beast of the East champion.
Yeah, and to me, Rocco's stock is only going to go up from his performance here this weekend. So hats off to him and hats off to Cash Colbert.
We're going to see some replays of that 215-pound final. And as is tradition, Colbert gets handed off the disc, the coin, if you will, from the Beast of the East. Here's a little arm spin attempt by Sarlino, who was able to almost convert on that. And there's a nice mat return by Colbert. Sees he's able to bring him back. And that was the finish.
You know, it's hard to compare to, like, you know, their physical attributes, their quickness, and their ability to wrestle on that level. You know, you got Feldman this year, who's kind of same out of that mold, super athletic. We got to see him here years ago, and he did a great job, Nick Feldman from Malvern.
Yeah, great wrestler now, the Ohio State Buckeyes, Nick Feldman. But here we go, 285-pound championship final, the 2025 Beast of the East. We got Lucas Zalota out of Malvern Prep in the blue and white pinstripe singlet, green ankle band, taking on Mateo Vinciguerra out of Woodstown in the red, white, and blue singlet.
And you know it's a heavyweight because the ankle band comes flying off. The minute he takes one, the minute he flexes his calf, the ankle band comes flying off.
Yeah, not fitting that thing around that ankle.
That's when they put it around your singlet after that. Around your shoulders on the singlet.
Zalota, number 8 in the country at 285 pounds. He's a junior committed to Rutgers, while Vinciguerra, number 17 ranked in the country at this weight class. Senior, headed to Maryland next season. 2 future Big Ten wrestlers could be seeing this battle down the road.
We tried to catch Lucas a couple times early in the tournament. He had 3 first-period pins, so it's kind of spread out. So by the time we got there, he had pinned every time. But I really got to watch him in the semis and really enjoyed him and think he's got all the tools at the next level. And Coach Goodell and Rutgers on the banks, they're getting a good one.
Yeah, for sure. Finished 3rd at Ironman last weekend. Had a really strong tournament after falling. Kind of let the match get away from him in the quarterfinals. Fell 7-6. Wrestled back strong for 3rd. So it was really impressed by that. He's been dominant to this final. Is out of the top seed. Went 2 first-period falls, a 9-0 major decision in the quarters, and an 8-1 decision over Kiel Mielnik of Blair Academy. Really holding center is Zalota. Neither guy really opening up, though, kind of hanging out here, kind of conceding to let this one roll to the second period. Pretty low action first period.
Mateo scored a lot of points off of bad shots. I think he's a defensive wrestler. He counters a lot, and he had a couple low attacks below the knee, but for the most part, I just feel naturally he might be a counter wrestler and a defensive wrestler, so we'll see how that plays out.
And Zalota has good attacks on both sides of the body, also really strong in the top position, but Zalota's going to go down to start the second period. Vinciguerra getting to work on top. On that right side, tight waist ankle, now going to the head lever on that right arm. Vinciguerra pressuring forward, and this is something I'm really interested to see. I haven't got to see Zalota in a lot of tight matches so far this season, other than that quarterfinal at Ironman that he ended up letting get away from him, kind of ran out of gas. And I'm interested to see in a tight competitive bout how he's able to handle it as he works up to his feet. Escapes awarded for Zalota, as they go out of bounds, he's going to go up 1-0 with 1:13 to go in the second period.
And I think you really hit the nail on the head. These tight, competitive, high-level matches, you'll get a glimpse into the future of what their college career is going to be like. If they can get that last takedown, if they can, what their high-level scrambling is against guys like this. So really, you see matches like this, 2 nationally ranked heavyweights in a nationally ranked tournament. You get a real glimpse into, what their performance is going to look like.
There's a lot to be said. There's a huge difference physically on and mentally on wrestling a guy that you can put a ton of points on versus a guy that's pretty culpable to your level, and how you're able to handle that match, how you're able to handle your energy, because that can wear on you both physically and mentally, which can really tire you out being in a tight match, having to maintain that kind of focus to not get in bad position. And I think that's what we might have saw last week in the quarters with Zalota, but he's in on the single leg on the edge. Vince Aguirre doing a nice job staying locked in the crotch, staying square, able to fight it off and earn a stalemate with 21 seconds to go in the second period.
Yeah, and sometimes guys change their style or tighten up. They don't let it fly, in different scenarios. Sometimes it's strategic, and sometimes you think, is it not deliberate? And that's stuff you got to especially work through. You get to that next level, the college level, and everybody is good, especially at a high D level, and every match is close. It all comes down to the wire. So that's why tournaments like this, the Ironman, are just so important for evaluating talent.
Absolutely. Zalota with the 1-0 lead, headed to the third. Vince Aguirre's choice going to go down. And this is where Zalota makes a lot of his money, is working from the top position. Good leg rider. He's got a few different turns in his pocket. And we'll see how Vince Aguirre is able to handle this third period going underneath. So you see him trying to stay tight, seal off, prevent a leg from coming in from Zalota. Zalota staying heavy on that left side. Able to break him down for a moment there with that ankle trap. You see him kind of taking that ankle to the outside, being able to drive him forward, taking away like one of the bases of Vince Aguirre. Not really a new ride, but it's very much used at the D1 level. It's a really good ride. It's really able to take kind of a leg off the table from the bottom wrestler on this single wrist ride. And now he's able to break him flat to his belly. Good work so far by Zalota. Vince Aguirre, not really many answers thus far.
Yeah, it's been super effective. And, when Vince Aguirre starts to put his head down on the mat, you start to think, Lucas is starting to get his way from the top ride. And you're right, he's making his hay here all day.
Mean crossface coming in now, sliding in that figure four, trying to open up the hips of Vince Aguirre here. And he could be looking for near fall now as he's just able to get that shoulder turn. But still with this figure four ride. In great position is Zalota now able to turn the hips over. Had a one swipe, it looked like, got under the chin for a moment. Now that figure four slides out, but more traditional, just right side boot in now as we go under 30 seconds to go. Clock continues to roll for Zalota as he's riding tough.
Zalota, one of the better high school riding heavyweights I think I've seen. Just absolutely brilliant what we're seeing here.
Yeah, not really giving Vince Aguirre any opportunity to create hip separation to really build up. And we go under 10 seconds to go. And it's Zalota still continuing to look for the turn. And what a great third period performance there by Lucas Zalota. He's going to get the third period ride out, and he takes this one 1-0 for Zalota in a very calculated match. But Zalota able to take advantage in that top position in the third period. And he's your 285-pound Beast of the East champion, the junior from Malvern Prep, putting up some points in a tight team race for Malvern Prep.
Absolutely great strategy. I think you really nailed it on that one. Excellent, beautiful, masterful match. For maybe
taking on Maximus Query out of Notre Dame Green Pond. And here we go, 106-pound championship final here, the 2025 Beast of the East. We got Evan Seas out of Malvern Prep, white singlet, green ankle band, taking on Maximus Query out of Notre Dame Green Pond, black, gold, white singlet, red ankle band.
Query's had a great tournament. Got to watch him a lot, and he had what I'd call a workmanlike tournament. a 4-0 victory, a 1-0 victory, a 5-0 victory, and a 7-0 victory. Real stingy on giving up points. Didn't score a ton, but absolutely wrestled a brilliant tournament. And here he is in the finals, Beast of the East.
Second finalist for both these teams, Malvern Prep and Green Pond. We've seen them both already pick up a champion. We saw Dominic Zampola from Indian Green Pond won that title, 190 pounds. And Salota, Malvern Prep picking up a title. And our last bout at heavyweight.
And Evan Cease knocked off from Malvern, knocked off the #1 seed from Blair, 6-1.
In position to score, and he's able to get the mat return for the takedown. And he starts out hot here where he picked up, where he left off in that semifinal over #9, Mello. Big lifts and returns for Cease, man. You see he's trying to get that lift to the bottom leg Turk, but nice job by Query getting his hips to the mat on each of these returns. Cease still riding tough now. Query just a freshman, I believe Cease a freshman as well. So 2 freshmen in the Beast Finals. He's going back to that lift and return to Cease, showing off some power, man. He really wants to put Query to his back.
Nothing excites the fans like a nice mat return, a nice heavy lift mat return. It's their favorite thing.
Altitude on it, amplitude, just playing him down on the mat. It's always fun to watch. Cease riding tough here. 24 seconds ago, he's looking for the ride out. As Query pops up to his feet once again, fighting hands. Nice job cutting it back, cracking it down for Cease. And he's in seatbelt position, kind of hip to hip here, seatbelt wizard. Query's got to try to go knee slide and square. But Cease now just dropping down more traditional single leg drop, able to work up and gonna get the ride out as well. So a great period there for Evan Cease.
One of the, probably the highest pace first period we've seen. That's something to do with starting at 175, but nonetheless, these 106-pound guys, they're going at it here in the first period. High pace.
Cease choice to start the second period. He goes down, working up to quad pod right away. As I mentioned, looking to bring Malvern their second champ of the night. They currently trail by 7 points in third place behind Lake Highland Prep. So they currently have Malvern currently at 229 points, sitting in third. Lake Highland Prep at 236, and then Blair out in first with 245. It's gonna be tough for any of these teams to catch Blair, but not impossible as of right now. Now Query getting a ride going as he throws in the boots, looking to extend Cease, what they call potentially dangerous, as Cease popped up to his feet.
Yeah, and that's the second one they've called on him, and I think, you know, it depends on who they decide initiated it, right? And then this is the third. They start with the warnings.
Yeah, you typically see if the bottom man's popping up after the leg comes in, it's going to be a stall warning on the bottom guy, or if the bottom guy gets up to his feet first, top guy throws the leg in. After 2 or 3 times, they start warning the top guy there. So just got to pay attention who initiates popping up to their feet or throwing in the leg. A little bit of nuance, as there is in wrestling and just about everything. But Query now able to break him down flat to his belly, working on a bar on the left side. Now in a lot better position to ride, but he could also be working for the turn here. Cease really basing out now, and there's the first warning on it. I was gonna say, might see one coming here as he's kind of just going typical parterre defense there. But throwing in the boot on the right side, sticking with this left side bar is Query. Cross body ride now.
And Query's working it. He has been switching back and forth, half bar, one then the other, looking at the power. I mean, he's not staying idle in this match.
Working up to quad pod for a moment with Cease, but nice job by Query extending him. You see, so what you got to do as a leg rider, you got to get under the arms and extend the guy, extend your legs to be able to get him straightened and flattened out and really bury the bottom man, and that's what Query's doing now, working on a power half.
And when you see those hips down and then the back legs pop up, that's when you know he's really got it nice.
Yep, that's when you know the bottom guy's feeling it, the shoulders and his lower back. And not a fun place to be if you're Cease, but great ride out there for Query, a full period ride out, and it's his choice to start the third. What could be an interesting choice. Looks like he's going to go back down after getting ridden out at the end of that first period. We'll see if Cease really commits to this ride in the third period.
That leg ride is what the alumni do when they come back around Christmas or Thanksgiving and beat up on the freshmen and sophomore in the rooms.
Oh, yeah.
You get to see that a lot.
Oh, yeah, guys with a little bit more experience, a little bit maybe not as great lungs, just throw in a leg and ride tough. But Query up to his feet. Nice returns once again by Seas. Query pops back up once again though. Having a hard time breaking the lock, but nice job there, able to get separation, gets the escape. It's now 3-1. Seas also with that stall warning, keep that in mind. The seatbelt, nice, going to the knee pick. Is Query looking to throw the far side boot, and they go out of bounds though. Notre Dame Green Pond corner not happy. I believe they might want a stall warning, takedown, I'm not sure.
You gotta, yeah, they don't care. They'll take whatever
they can get.
But you gotta love what you see out of Corey. Instantly he gets his one, boom, he's in on another shot, into another shot. So you gotta love that kind of action. And yeah, the Notre Dame coaches are, we gotta get a call here. We gotta get a call. We don't care what we get.
I'm not happy, you gotta listen.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I demand justice.
Seas slowing it down now a little bit with this right side underhook. Really just trying to keep in control ties here. Slow Query's offense down. You see him going back and forth from his control ties. As we go under a minute to go, Query's got to find himself back in here. He looks to go slide by. Nice job by Seas. Felt that slide by kind of pull coming. Opened up Seas' hips, and he dropped down in on the double leg. Picks up the takedown to extend it to 6-1. Goes back to his ride now, with just 40 seconds to go.
Only 7 points scored so far, but this has been a slugfest. And these guys have definitely delivered punches back and forth, and each has responded in turn.
Absolutely. A lot of momentum shifts in this one. It's been fun to watch. And Query's not done as he pops back up to his feet, going back to this claw lift. Gets the bottom leg Turk this time to Seas. A little bit shallow as he's under the knee. Query crawling forward, able to get that knee back down to the mat, it looks like. He's able to get his hips square, but we're down to 20 seconds now. Query back up, locked in the crotch. He sees a nice job, just kind of turning his head to the back shoulder and bringing him down, kind of like a single leg finish, and he's going to take it out of bounds. There's 4 seconds to go, and Seas is on the cusp of winning a Beast of the East title.
Malvern Prep with a great showing here so far in the finals.
And that's going to do it. Another mat return to close it out. Pretty fitting finish, you'd say there, for Evan Seas of Malvern Prep. He's your 106-pound Beast of the East champion with that 6-1 decision. The freshman for Malvern Prep.
6-1 and 9 mat returns. Not bad. Not bad at all. That's a dominant performance for that young man.
Incredible thing to see from a young guy.
Absolutely.
Already so tough in that top is. I'll be there for that live from Cannon McMillan High School. So tune in for all you high school wrestling fans. Tune in for that. But we got a big one coming up here, folks. Our 113-pound championship final, the 2025 Beast of the East. We've got number 1 in the land, Ryland Seacrest out of Brecksville, Ohio, in the black and red singlet, red ankle band, taking on Justin Farnsworth, number 2 in the country, out of Malvern Prep in the white-blue singlet, green ankle band.
Yeah, and these two guys have been on a collision course in a lot of different tournaments they've been in over the years. But in this tournament especially, absolutely bonus points all over the place for both these guys. Ryland Seacrest looking like a number 1 guy this entire tournament. And Justin Farnsworth right there with him, blowing through the competition. So I think this is an incredible matchup. We've seen it a few times. And this, I think, will be another chapter in that book.
Yeah, we saw these guys wrestle out in the Junior Fargo finals at 113 pounds.
Thank you to our 103-pound referees, Lester McCall from Oregon and Rick Salon.
We saw these guys wrestle back at Fargo at 113 pounds. It was a 6-0 win for that Fargo stop sign for Seacrest, as Seacrest picks up a stall warning on Farnsworth there as he shoots him out of bounds. So early stall warning on Farnsworth. They also met last week in the Ironman finals at 113 pounds. It was an 11-3 win, impressive victory for Seacrest as he went out, got a near side cradle right away, and then was able to kind of roll with it from there. Seacrest really good out of the front headlock, really good at running corner, and a tough hand fighter. While Farnsworth, returning Beast of the East champion from a year ago, down at 106 pounds, has nice single leg attacks. Hard to get to his legs, as you see, keeps low position and tough from the top position.
Yeah, and Seacrest from Ohio, Brecksville, Ohio, one of the few Ohio teams here. you know, over the years they haven't really traveled as much because of Iron Man, and they had that LeBron rule for a while, so we really haven't seen a ton of them. So it's good to see #1 guy and from Ohio here, really impressive.
Seacrest, a senior, headed to Arizona State next year. From my understanding, really excited to be out there in Tempe.
I can't believe you wouldn't be excited to be in Arizona State and Tempe.
Especially growing up in Ohio.
Absolutely. I think that young man made an excellent decision.
Absolutely. That'll do for the first period. No score after one. It's Farnsworth, a Rutgers commit, so staying local. Just a junior, though, but headed to Rutgers here. Class of 2027 guy. Farnsworth going down to start the second period. You see Seacrest showing optional start. Looks like he's going to give the escape right away to Farnsworth. Going to make it 1-0 in favor of Farnsworth. But Seacrest getting to work right away out of this short offense. And like I said, this is where he likes to be. Kind of faking one side, going the other. And you see him bouncing right and left.
Yeah, I was super impressed by that side-to-side lateral movement, the quickness and the ability to see like 2 or 3 moves ahead by Seacrest. Absolutely going to have a great career at Arizona State.
Farnsworth does a nice job staying square, now breaking space, but got to keep this in mind. Farnsworth does have a stall warning as Seacrest takes him out of bounds once again, and if you're Farnsworth, you got to do a better job fighting back in.
I think really the real question in this match, what is the max bench of the referee here? I'm going to guess over 315.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Putting on a good show for fitness for referees. Absolutely tremendous.
The easiest job in the world being an official. So
it is not.
Some people might think.
It's good to bulk up to keep the fans quiet, too.
Yep. Maybe intimidate the coaches a little bit.
That's right, yeah. Take a deep breath before you come to the bench. Come to the table.
Now, just optics about halfway through this match compared to last week's Ironman final. This kind of fitting into Farnsworth's style, a little bit more slower match, able to kind of dictate the pace so far. Is Seacrest really trying to get his offense going, but Farnsworth able to kind of slow the match down.
Yeah, Farnsworth out long, almost a drop knee type thing on his feet, tough to score on. I think, yeah, there you go. Actually,
see the guns on our official, man.
I thought it was Kurt Angle's younger brother for a minute there. I started sweating a little bit. Thought he was going to want a match with me.
Good comparison there.
Absolutely, man. Good job.
There's a caution on Farnsworth on that kind of false start. Looks like he might have caught a finger to the eye there. They're going to give him a second to collect himself.
A little incidental there.
Yeah.
Good show of sportsmanship. High-level guys just sometimes have the best sportsmanship, man. It goes hand in hand.
Yeah, man, you can really respect just the level and the work it takes to be at that level once you've done it, once you've been there for so long, and you've had to put in that work to really improve. And in a sport like this, it's hard not to be. And
there's a big responsibility with being a #1 guy and the way you behave and how you act. And I just think Ryland Seacrest has impressed me from everything for this whole tournament: sportsmanship, fitness, everything.
He's taking ground once again on Farnsworth. Farnsworth able to keep himself in bounds, and he'll take a 1-0 lead to the third. And this is, if you're Farnsworth, this is kind of how you probably had to draw it up. Ideal match scenario. Seacrest going down to start the third. Farnsworth headed to one of his better positions, if not his best position, the top position. We'll see if Seacrest is able to respond.
Seacrest so quick on that first move.
Yeah, he knows he's got to fire up to his feet quick. Doesn't want to give up a leg ride or his wrist to Farnsworth. A nice job by Seacrest. Turns back center and kicks away. Able to get to the escape. Ties the match at 1. And keep in mind, Farnsworth also with that stall warning. So he's got to stay engaged. Can't let Seacrest continue to drive him towards the out of bounds and fire off attacks. As you see Farnsworth kind of get to a shallow underhook, looks to throw it up.
I think you hit the nail on the head. This is Farnsworth's match. If he's going to knock off Seacrest, it's going to be in a match like this. It's not going to be a high-powered, high-scoring shootout. It's going to be something like this.
Seacrest taking ground once again, snapping to his front headlock, looking to run corner, but just runs out of real estate as they go out of bounds with 1:16 to go. For Farnsworth, you got to be thinking about, how am I going to get to my offense here? I can't just keep letting this guy pull on my head and pull me down a front headlock. I got to find a way, whether it's a leg attack, a slide by, a counter score. You got to be thinking about, how am I going to score on this guy? I can't just keep letting him pull on my head.
Yeah, and you worry that Seacrest is such a clean finisher that something defensive really isn't going to help.
He's changing corners one way then the other once again. Now going head and arm is Seacrest. Now more in a seatbelt wizard position. Looking to pass leg is Farnsworth. As he dives through now, looking to come out the middle. Nice job by Seacrest here, keeping those feet up off the mat. That's what you want to do in this position. Don't let that guy with the leg pass get his feet on the mat and start getting elevation. Now it's Seacrest who's able to turn away, and he's in position to score here. No takedown awarded yet, but now Seacrest looking to put him on his back. He's got a half. Looking to pass the leg once again was Farnsworth, but Seacrest holding him there, looking for the fall, and there it is. Ryland Seacrest. Man, this kid is impressive. That's his third win over Justin Farnsworth. It was a major decision last week, and now a fall in a tied 1-1 match here for a Beast of the East title.
And you got to think that Farnsworth just wrestled a perfect match up until the end. But how good is Seacrest that a high-level scramble like that with a nationally ranked guy, and he just got the better of him in that scramble, puts him on his back and pins him, and then gets to do the backflip. It doesn't get any better from that.
Little round off backflip, man. We're going to get some highlights of that last scramble. Really impressive in a position. It looked like Farnsworth was kind of in the advantageous position off of Seacrest's attack. You'll see it here. Farnsworth looked to try to get height here, but Seacrest keeping those feet up off the mat and then able to turn his belt buckle down to the mat, goes to the legs. Seacrest tries to get up in that crotch and leg pass, and Seacrest catches that half there and able to plant him here. And it was lights out at that point for Farnsworth, man. Good effort trying to pass that leg and win a scramble to win the match in a position where he hadn't been with Seacrest. He wasn't really ever in a position in the prior two meetings to win the match.
And you got to think that Malvern goes back to the drawing board and says, we're going to wrestle it exactly the same way, except the last 20 seconds, we're winning that scramble. That's got to be how they got to play it.
And we're going to head up 120-pound championship final. We got Landon Sidden, another #1 ranked guy in the country of Norwin, taking on Michael Batista of Blair Academy. And we're in a far ankle scramble now off of Sidden's attack. Batista with the far ankle trying to get Sidden to a hip. They're going to scramble out of bounds, no score. And an awesome sequence to start off this 120-pound championship final. Sidden was a champion here a year ago, won an awesome tiebreaker match against Joe Bachman of Faith Christian Academy, who was #1 at the time in the country. Batista, #8 nationally ranked at 120 pounds.
Yeah, Landon, like Seacrest and Bo Bassett, just looks the part. Looks like a #1, walks like a #1, acts like a #1. Just really impressed by everything I've seen out of him. Norwich, in the Pittsburgh area, Western Pennsylvania, long history of absolute great wrestling. And this guy's a perfect example of next in the long line of outstanding wrestlers from that area.
Yeah, Sidden is a PIAA state champion as a freshman. Last year was just had a huge opening to his season, won a Beast of the East title, won a Powerade title, went out to California, won a Doc B title, and then in February suffered a season-ending injury when he was well on his way, undefeated at the time, to his second PIAA title. We saw him make his return on the big stage back in the fall at Who's #1, and he picked up a major decision win over Rockland Zinklin to defend his #1 ranking, and he's looked lights out ever since, dominating his way to the finals. He's taking on Batista, who really, really good wrestler. Number 18 in the country, I do believe, is Batista. Or excuse me, Batista, number 8 in the country. Just a junior, committed to Maryland. Well, as we mentioned, Sidden, junior, committed to Penn State.
Yeah, Maryland picking up a couple of really good recruits out of the field here, too. Penn State with reloading with 2 excellent guys here today, but you know, you got to look at Penn State and think, whatever they're doing, other people need to be copying a lot more. And you think, like with Oklahoma State, David Taylor, they're going to really start closing the gap. But I think with recruits like this and what they have, it's going to be a few years. But other teams are starting to build.
Yeah, absolutely. And an action-packed first period ends scoreless. We head to the second. Sidden's going to go down to start the second period. And Batista has really impressed me. I've gotten to watch him last week at Ironman, and now this weekend here at the Beast. He's impressed me with his scrambling ability, really hard guy to finish on, as we saw in that opening exchange, and now working on these mat returns on Sidden.
Yeah, Batista is not backing down from this match. He thinks this could be, you know, his time to really step up on the stage and have his signature win of his career. And he's in position. I mean, it's start of the second period, 0-0.
Yeah, Batista had a strong performance last week at Ironman, finished 3rd had a big win over Cam Saunce and Del Barton for that 3rd place medal. It's escape for Sidden. See Batista looking to run corner on out of that front headlock. And Sidden's a guy really hard to break his positioning as well. He's always coming forward, hand fighting hard, really good short offense as well.
Yeah, Del Barton not here this weekend. A lot of people thought, that maybe hurt the field a little bit. They're at duels, I believe. But I think this field really responded with 36 ranked guys and 9 of the top 40 teams.
There was a second stall warning on Batista. Off the shot by Sidden. Sidden able to convert as there was a leg pass attempt there by Batista. Nice job by Sidden keeping his hips heavy there. Anticipated the dive through. And that's where wrestling's kind of taken itself here over the last few years. We saw early on, maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, guys didn't know how to defend a leg pass. They didn't know how to defend the funk, dive through rolls. Now they're really, really doing a better job of guys that are leg attackers. They've picked up on it, and it's just reps of feeling a guy diving through, looking for an ankle pass, being able to drop your knees, drop your hips on him, anticipating that roll, and protecting your ankles.
Yeah, the thing that surprised me about Landon in that whole series, I just felt like he was a step ahead. He was a move ahead of everything that Batista was trying to do, and even that was at a high level. So absolutely great anticipation of what was happening.
Now Sidden riding from the top position, Batista up to his feet, going Granby, and great follows here by Sidden as they go out of bounds. A couple Granbys there, and Sidden just stayed on him like a backpack, man. You see, like, kind of goes double unders under both arms and just kept his hips glued to him off the rolls.
I think 3's the limit you can do on Granbys. 2 is okay. 3, you're pushing it.
Yeah, at that point, it's like, all right, maybe try something else.
That's right. Yeah, let's go a different direction.
There was a caution on Sidden. I believe that was his first. We're down to just 30 seconds to go. Sidden looking for the ride out. What's a pretty good period. 5 points on the board for Sidden this period off the stall point, escape, and takedown. Another roll by Batista, back and forth, and man, Sidden's just staying glued to him.
Sidden doesn't look phased in the least.
Nah, man, he's really, really tough in this top position, just staying with the guy, not really getting his hips thrown off at all, and just keeping his hips glued. If you're Batista, like we said, man, you might want to try something else, maybe a little changeover switch. He comes up to his feet, traditional stand-up now, goes back to the roll, and once again following. Not able to keep him in bounds, though, as Batista continuing to get himself restarts. With just 12 seconds to go, this is a huge restart for Batista. You want to get yourself up on the board here, as he's got choice headed to the 3rd.
Watching this, a lot of connection between gymnasts and wrestlers, a lot of the warm-ups, body control, rolls.
Flexibility for sure.
Flexibility.
Once again, Sidden able to follow the roll, pulls him into crab ride, and he's going to get the ride out. Great period by Sidden. Had to work really hard for that ride out, and he gets it. It's Batista's choice to start the 3rd, and he's going to go down. He's got to find a way to get hip separation here against a guy that's not really looking like he's going to be willing to give it up.
Got to talk to the referee. That's the head referee in this. Super nice guys from California. First time doing Beast of the East. First time doing some of this East Coast stuff, and real impressed by the wrestling here, so that's good to see.
And this time, Sidden gets a much better start. Gets that outside figure 4 in on the leg and gets Batista broken down. You see him going to this cross wrist now. Batista catches the foot. That's kind of keeping him alive right now. Sidden really good with this cross wrist, like has a roll through tilt. Batista pulling up the foot. They're going to stop it for potentially dangerous. The toe getting turned out. You can see some injuries happening.
Yeah, I think he got tweaked a little bit there. I think he's okay, but
yeah, you see him kind of shaking out the knee there. The guy that's had a lot of knee injuries, man. I cringe sometimes in these positions. Guys get in just bad memories from being there. The officials have done a nice job this weekend being on top of it on the action, though. Now this time, standing switch by Batista gets that separation, and they're going to award the escape. Nice job by Batista, finally able to create that space and get the escape. And they're going to warn Sidden for stalling there. They're saying he backed out of that short offense position. It's now 5-1 with 1:10 to go. And for Batista, your path to victory here is a little bit limited. You could be thinking about second stall warning, takedown, or 2 takedowns. And there's always a possibility of feet to back.
2 takedowns, that's a tall order for the situation here.
Yeah, especially against a guy like Sidden. It's so hard to get to. You see him keep that low stance, kind of keeping his head in the way. And throws that back leg back, kind of like that drop step fake. Really can keep guys at bay with their timing, throwing it off.
Yeah, Landon just so fundamentally sound, but at the same time explosive. And I have seen him take some risks. I mean, he's not a buttoned-up, non-creative wrestler. I mean, I've seen him take some chances, and you know, I was so happy to get to see him wrestle all weekend this weekend. So impressed by the Penn State commit.
Batista coming forward, this left side hook. Sidden wisely circles back in. Is going to drive Batista out with just 12 seconds to go. Shot by Sidden. Batista continuing to throw attacks on him, but double leg from Sidden. Got Batista on a hip. No takedown with the chest. Well, kind of chest lock there. Chest lock and hip by Batista. Able to fight it off, but it's going to be a 5-1 decision for Landon Sidden. Impressive performance. To see him maybe favoring that one leg.
Yeah, I think he is a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully Sidden's okay. As we mentioned, had that season-ending injury last year. Hopefully he's all right, but the #1 guy in the country comes in, able to run through the tournament and goes back-to-back for Beast of the East titles. Tell me what you thought there, Scott.
I mean, I said it from the beginning. He absolutely looked the part. I think that Batista had it going with these Granbys. He just couldn't score from it, but he definitely could hit them. He just couldn't create any separation. And Landon did a great job, and it's exactly what we expected. And to me, in a loss like this, I hate to say it, but Batista stock went up for me.
In the camo singlet red ankle band. Mason Jacob of Dobbins Bennett, excuse me. Jacob in on the single leg. He's got it up on the far hip shelf, looking to pull Barron back in bounds, and there's another example of it. Barron goes for the leg pass, the dive through, and Jacob does a nice job anticipating it, able to shut it down, picks up the takedown to go up 3-0.
Yeah, and Dobbins Bennett is Tennessee, North Tennessee by Kingston, right there on the border. So I would say a non-traditional wrestling power, but you know, you start winning Beasties and Southern Slams and get guys in Ironman, all of a sudden Tennessee could be on the map.
Yeah, Jacob, #5 in the country, actually down at 120 pounds. Making the jump up here to 126 pounds this weekend. He has been impressive. Went fall, tech fall major, another fall, and then a 2-0 decision for Finnegan O'Brien. A very tough wrestler for Blair Academy in his semifinal. He's working tough in the top position, this half on the left side. And this is another guy with a lot of length, can really help you in the top position, get a lot more leverage, a lot more reach, making it tough on Barron underneath. As Barron took 35 seconds to go.
Yeah, and Jack Barron from Germantown Academy, one of the top mainline schools for academics, also is a great wrestling program. Most of the kids I've come in contact with at school, squared away kids, great students, and good wrestlers. So it's good to see them with a guy in the finals.
Barron got a big win in his semifinal, coming out of the 6th seed over 2-seed Carter Chunko of Saucon Valley. Chunko was a Pac-12 state runner-up last season. And then Jacob was putting a tough ride on here, burying Barron with this leg ride and power half, and he gets the ride out after picking up an early takedown to take a 3-0 lead to the second period. Jacob's choice to start the second, he defers, and Barron going right back down. That's
loving the USA Wrestling tattoo on the chest
I know, I
of
haven't
Jacob.
seen one of those in a while.
Excellent, just excellent. A little old school throwback, but also something new.
It's been a while since I've seen one of those. And Barron really not scared going it back underneath, but Jacob showing optional start, going to cut him right away. So Barron kind of the right choice. That scenario, he gets his escape to cut it to 3-1. And this is an opportunity for Barron after you give up that early takedown and hard ride. Really get your legs back under you and get momentum back in your favor. Give you the opportunity to open up your offense and kind of go after a guy like Jacob. And you know, like a guy that has a lead, you're feeling confident and they start showing optional start. You don't want to let them kind of get back rolling in their offense. That's when matches can really get away from you. But Jacob gets it on the low single. Barron looking to kick away, and nice defense there for Barron.
You know, speaking of moves you would never have seen 20 years ago, right there. Never would have saw that.
That was great, man.
Yeah,
Just went kick and face.
Yeah, that's it, kick and face. In the old days, you belly out and wait to get cut.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just the level of scrambling that's kind of worked its way into the high school scene nowadays. It's unbelievable, man. I graduated high school going on 10 years ago, and just it wasn't like this. Like the best wrestlers, they could scramble, but not even to this level that you see just pretty much throughout all of high school wrestling. And it's awesome. It kind of just goes to show like the level of wrestling is growing, the level of coaching is growing, the level of training partners is growing. Just a really good sign for the sport.
Yeah, I just think one of the biggest changes in wrestling over the past, say, 20 years is the wrestling clubs, places like Edge, Sure Thing, or M3, whatever, is that the guys are going against each other all the time. You know, high-level guys against each other all the time.
And Jacobs got Barron in close to a non-control fall position here as he's in on the single leg kind of waterfall position. He's got Barron in a really bad spot, and Barron's just going to have to bail out there.
Barron, the smart thing by bailing out. He was in deep trouble.
Yeah, the official might have missed a couple fall calls there. I'm not down there seeing it like he is, but man, it looked really close. A nice job by Jacob. Knowing that kind of traditional finish there was going to be hard as Barron was kind of draped over, locked in the crotch, just opted to put pressure down on the heel and put Barron in danger.
The one thing is we didn't see any coaches screaming, so maybe it was okay.
Maybe it was the right call.
Maybe it was the right call. Yeah, far be it for me to say, but I saw nobody arguing it besides us.
Fair. And it's Jacob's choice with the 6-1 lead going to the third period. He goes neutral, feeling confident in his neutral ability. He's got 2 takedowns so far in this match, and Barron really hasn't had an opportunity to get in on an attack of his own thus far. It's Jacob taking ground now, going head in the hole. See that elbow control by Barron, pinching down on that elbow, just trying to keep him square here.
Super impressed just with the high motor of Jacob. Absolutely wrestling at a very high level.
Yeah, even more impressive up a weight class from where he's been, where he's ranked currently number 5 in the country. A West Virginia commit, and their second commit in the finals tonight as well, and really been impressed thus far. As he fires off another attack, it's Barron with the underhook. We'll see if he looks to work out of here. Got to be able to clear kind of that left wrist and start trying to get movement out of Jacob with this underhook. But now Jacob with the head position, going to be hard for Barron to really get anything working out of here.
And he looks like a big 126 to me.
Yeah.
I can't, it's going to...
I thought the same thing yesterday watching him. I was like, man, I can't believe this kid was at 120 before.
You think he'll stay up? Have you heard anything? Or
haven't heard, but just off optics, yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Barron back with this front headlock. And at this point, down 5, you almost got to be thinking think to back for Barron. But Jacob doing a nice job controlling wrists. Now fires off a double leg, head in the middle once again. Almost like a Winn-Dixie attempt there for Barron, but Jacob in good position now. At the very least a ride clock, but he's going to pick up another takedown. Impressive work here by Mason Jacob. Looked like he picked up another stall warning in the... Oh, wait, no, he did not. It was a 6-1 lead prior to that. It's now 9-1, but that's going to do it for Mason Jacob. A 9-1 major decision.
And a solid tournament by Jack Barron. He's a 6th seed, knocked off the 2, made it into the finals. Nationally ranked guy also, higher than him. And
you saw like the little Masanosuke Ono celebration there by Jacob. Not really an anime fan myself, so I don't really know what it's referring to, but I've seen Ono and Marcus Blaze both do that same celebration.
We got to work out with Senshiro Abe a lot, so we picked up a lot of those things over the years. So, I would love to see it.
That's awesome. We see the first finish there. Anticipated the roll to Jacob. Anticipated the dive roll. That was great. And gets in once again on that low single. And this was the impressive defense by Barron to fight it off. And here's that final takedown.
Officials, what do you got? Let's battle.
Here we go. We got the handshake coming for 132-pound finalists. And here we go, 132-pound championship final, the 2025 Beast of the East. We got Vincenzo Anello out of Blair Academy, silver blue singlet, red ankle band, taking on Anthony D'Andrea out of Watchung Hills in the white, brown, yellow singlet, green ankle band.
Yeah, Watchung Hills and Blair Academy, not too far apart. Watchung Hills is a public school in Hunterdon County. And speaking of Edge and clubs, Anthony D'Andrea works out at the Edge nearby to there. And the Blair coach is also an Edge guy that's around my age. So a lot of always connections, family connections in wrestling. Everyone's interconnected. And in wrestling, they say, do you know? And the answer is always, yeah. If I don't know them, I know somebody that knows them. So
it's a small world, the wrestling world, but it's a great one. A lot of connectivity. We're about 60 seconds into this first period. No score thus far. Anello, a junior for Blair Academy, ranked number 13 in the country. He's committed to Princeton, so staying in state. Must be a smart guy, headed to Princeton.
Good decision.
Yep. Yeah. Can never, ever judge a guy for wanting to go to an Ivy school. Just really sets you up great for life. At a great wrestling program as well at Princeton. Made a lot of good coaching moves over the last couple years.
Absolutely. And Cornell, too. I mean, Cornell really the gold standard of Ivy League wrestling schools, and, you know, absolutely doing it right in Ithaca.
Yep, helping raise the level of all the Ivy schools, just trying to bring up the wrestling programs. Anello has always been a guy right there with the best guys in the country, just hasn't been able to get it done at these big major events, just at that highest peak. He's always been just short, finishing third at Beast of the East last year, finishing third at Ironman last weekend. This is his opportunity to break through and win a major event. And after a scoreless first period, it is D'Andrea's choice. He's going to go down to start the second. Anello, a tough rider, I believe won a 1-0 match in his semifinal, just put on a tough ride in the third period. And he's going to look to get back to that work here in the second period. Tough chop, tight waist here to start the period by Anello's got D'Andrea broken down.
Yeah, right now we're at 132, and a lot of the people tuning in. 150 coming up, number one against number two, and then 165 will be the last match. We started at 175, so we're working our way through the heavyweights back around to 106, and here we are at 132. But absolutely stay tuned for 150. It's going to be really probably the best event on Sunday night since the Eagles played yesterday. So Bo Bassett and Lake Highland Prep going at it, coming up in a couple matches here.
We're going to go on blood time, it looks like, for D'Andrea. And while we're on this break, it seems like Blair Academy probably has this thing pretty locked up at this point, as they currently lead by 9 over Lake Highland Prep. And Anello has the opportunity here to put an exclamation point on that, give them another champion. Lake Highland Prep in second with 236 points, and following right behind them on their heels is Malvern Prep with 233 points. And then a little bit of separation down to fourth place is Bishop McCord with 165.5 as we get back to action here.
Yeah, and D'Andrea with a pen sticker on the side of his headgear. Speaking of great schools and good wrestling programs, so probably two guys with excellent SAT scores in this final.
Yeah, I would imagine probably a little bit better than mine.
I would say ours combined are probably somewhere near what we're looking at here for one of these guys.
Anello continuing to ride, able to take D'Andrea out of bounds. And this is kind of Anello's game here. Nothing flashy. He's never going to kind of jump off the page at you. Just a really tough wrestler, keeps in good position, tough rider, gets out on bottom, and just really hard to score on. And he's able to bring D'Andrea back down to the mat, back to this kind of tight waist chop ride. Doing it the hard way.
Yeah, 51 seconds left in the second period. Still 0-0. A lot of action, but not a lot of scoring. starting to slow the flow down a little bit with the blood time. Sometimes it benefits one guy more than the other if he's really rolling or not, but you know, in this case, I think it's just kind of slowing everything down to a halt.
Yeah, it can be hard to get in a rhythm, especially in a tight match like this. We're still tied at 0 with just under a minute to go in the second period. It can really be hard to get a flow going, get a good ride going, get momentum to get up to your feet and create separation with all these breaks for blood. So kind of a factor in the sport that isn't really talked about that often, but it can definitely play a role.
Yeah, especially late in the season, you get the chop, you get the lips and the bleeding from that. It's almost impossible to stop that. You know, you saw they put Vaseline on the lip there, but you know, sometimes that's just the inevitable is still coming.
Now this time dropping down to the ankle, shelved it up, now coming forward back to this chop. Looking to cartwheel over as he hooked the elbow as D'Andrea, but Anello does a nice job following, keeping it in bounds here. Now looking for the return, able to bring him down and keeps it in bounds. That's huge for Anello as he gets this breakdown once again.
And of course, our program sponsors, Decided Strength, Wrestling Mindset, and Pain Doctor.
D'Andrea, 3-time New Jersey state place winner, has been 7th, 5th, and 3rd, so kind of climbing the podium every year. Looking to get to the top of the podium this season. And once again, Anello able to break him down as they slide out of bounds. Just 16 seconds to go. And this is a huge, huge restart for D'Andrea. You want to get a good first move here, get up to your feet, possibly even think about going short sit. Hasn't really given a look at that yet, as Anello has shown his ability to be able to get these mat returns so far.
Yeah, New Jersey just such a tough state to win a state title. As we all know, single champion, tons of schools. I think something like 1,800 high schools in New Jersey, one state champion, long tradition of good wrestlers. So, you know, somebody with a 3-time placer going into his senior year, that's really impressive for New Jersey.
Yes, it is. And Anello, talk about impressive, an impressive tight ride there the whole second period, gets the ride out. He goes down to start the third, but D'Andrea doesn't even want to mess around with it. He's just going to cut him right away, make it 1-0 for Anello, and D'Andrea giving himself a full 2 minutes to try to go get this takedown.
I love that strategy. I think basically how the match is going, that's a brilliant way to try and approach this.
Especially at the high school level where riding time's not a factor. A little bit of different stall calls, how it's called, it's a little bit different. It's going to be a lot harder to come back from a 1-0 deficit or from a 0-0 deficit and put on a ride. Not really worth working for the ride there. Just give yourself as much time as possible to try to go get a takedown.
Yeah, if you need to burn off 30 seconds of riding time that the other guy has, you know, or whatever, or try and get it under a minute, definitely some strategy that would work. But in this case, you know, give me as long as I can.
And go back on blood, this time on Anello. Those nose plugs came out.
And our winner taking 3rd place.
You know, I always like to mention every tournament that I do. Big shout out to all the moms out there that have helped their wrestlers. I think there's a lot of moms that never heard of wrestling before. Somehow their kid got involved in it. It's one thing if your brothers did it or your husband did it, whatever. But you know, to get thrown into this sport and to be so crucial to the what kids need to be successful, the dieting, the weight, the going places to train. So I always like to give a shout out to the moms out there that are really the backbone of a lot of these champions.
Yeah, the sport ain't for the weak, and if you're a competitor, it's not just you that's affected by it, it's your entire circle, and it takes, as it say, it takes a village, and that's not really a cliche in this sport. It really does. It takes everybody that you know, everybody, your friends, your family.
Yeah, you need a support network.
For sure. And we're back to it. 1:10 to go, and D'Andrea's really got to pick up the pace here in the third period. No stall warnings on Anello. So he's kind of in the driver's seat here. It's Anello, hard guy to open up, going to stay engaged here. As you see, he's just planting his butt right in the center logo.
You know, if Anello wins this, I'd say he wrestled his perfect match. I mean, he had to ride out and was super stingy on everything. So he's putting himself in a great position.
It's D'Andrea in on the single leg, though. Anello rolling it through as he's got ankle control. Both guys kind of tied up in the ankles, going bottom leg here. is DeAndrea going to be hard for him to score, though, is Anello. You see controlling both those ankles, keeping them elevated up off the mat, taking away the drive foot, and he earns the stalemate.
I'm just glad they didn't jinx it and he got taken down. As I was saying, he was in the drive. Don't tell him if I said that, if it happened.
That would be a classic jinx.
That
right
would be
there.
terrible jinx, yeah. I apologize.
We're down just to 25 seconds to go. DeAndrea, you think about firing back off that single leg. Get yourself in position to score here. You're not going to earn 2 stall warnings in 15 seconds. And this time he goes the other leg. Backside on the single leg. There's a first stall warning on Anello. Under 10 seconds to go. Anello staying heavy, coming back in to DeAndrea, staying heavy on that foot as well. DeAndrea getting it up off the mat, going to look to club and sweep here, but just going to run out of time. Man, good effort there by DeAndrea. And you see Anello give a little A.
Love it. I love it.
Celebration.
Forget about it. Forget about it.
A little Sopranos right there.
That's right. This is the most New Jersey match ever.
It's Vincenzo Anello.
I love it. I love it. Reminds me of my childhood.
Does it the hard way with a 1-0 decision, and he's your 132-pound Beast of the East champion. We're going to get a replay. Really not much to replay in that match, but it was a tough second period ride in that match that made the difference for Anello. We'll go to the replay here so you can see.
I mean, you said it best. Anello's going to break through. You know, he was third, and he broke through. He did it his way. I mean, he absolutely did it his way.
Yeah, and you see here a little bit of hand fight early on in the match, but that second period ride, as I said, just a huge difference. You see hand control there wearing 9th and 10th. You can check all those events coming up live on www.flowwrestling.org. And here we go, our 138-pound championship final at the 2025 Beast of the East. We got Keanu Dillard of Bethlehem Catholic in the gold and brown singlet, red ankle band, taking on Tyler Conroy of Malvern Prep in the blue and white singlet, green ankle band.
Wrestlers wrestling for 3rd place. From Lake Highland Preparatory School.
Dillard, number 7 in the country, a senior from Bethlehem Catholic, was a finalist here a year ago, fell to Anthony Knox, St. John Vianney, looking for close out his Beast career with a Beast of the East championship. Conroy, number 18 in the country, he's in on the single leg right away. Shin Whizzer by Dillard. And Dillard's a hard guy to open up, hard guy to score on. As you see, working with this Shin Whizzer. Conroy brings it up to his feet. Dillard staying heavy with that whizzer, though, able to kick away and face. Nice job by Dillard there.
It's funny you see tournaments like this, and the finals crowd is usually in tournaments like the biggest one, but here it's just such a grinder, and so many kids just get roughed up, and parents, they're like, we're out of here. Usually it's like, let's stay for the finals, but, you know, when Mom gave me her credentials and like, I'm leaving, and like handed them to me, and I was like, man, she's pretty delirious right now. But, you know, not a huge crowd for the finals, but tons of people here all weekend. Like I said, 200 teams, but definitely a meat grinder of a tournament, much like the Ironman.
Yep, got to call it girls tournament to start this out on Thursday and Friday. It was really well attended for that, and it was a good time. The 4th annual Girls Beast, that was fun. And it's Conroy in, 15 to go, back in the same side single leg. And Dillard does a nice job keeping that knee down towards the mat, but once again, that same position on the mat as well. Conroy brings it up to their feet, and nice job by Dillard. Able to go limp leg out, gets his foot down to the mat. And that's going to finish a scoreless first period. And Dillard, another guy, just like we saw in Nella last match. Nothing flashy, not going to jump off the page at you. Keeps really good position, has good attacks, really hard to score on, and a tough rider. And he's kind of made a career out of that. He's a 3-time Pennsylvania State champion. He's been, I believe, 4th and 2nd here at the Beast.
Yeah, just to go back on the one point you made about the girls wrestling, I just think one of the best developments in our sport in the last couple of years is girls wrestling. I think it's really taken it to another level, and really the growth in the sport has been incredible, and the ability for everyone to just embrace that. And, you know, for some of us older guys, the Title IX stuff from wrestling 30 years ago, to see it then flip back around and it be like such a positive force in wrestling. But I love coaching the girls. You know why? They listen. They absolutely listen. So our high school has a girls team for the first time, and it's been like a huge success. So.
Yeah, I believe my high school just recently added a girls program for this season as well at the high school level. And also just saw another Division I program getting added at Kent State just a couple days ago. That's huge and incredible, exciting news for the sport of wrestling, both boys and girls. It's always good to see programs being added, and just really, really exciting force that women's wrestling is. Dillard goes down to start the second period. Conroy doing a nice job of riding to start the period out as we're 36 seconds into the period. And we're going to go on blood time for Conroy. And man, I got the opportunity to call a lot of Conroy's matches already last week at Ironman, saw him wrestle. And then last year, this Malvern team, they go to just about every tough tournament there is between Ironman, Beast, Powerade, Escape the Rock, National Preps. Got to see a lot of Tyler Conroy matches, and this kid bleeds.
He's a bleeder?
He's a bleeder,
yeah.
man.
His mother was a bleeder, and he's a bleeder.
Yeah, gets a lot of these nosebleeds, and they will slow a lot of matches down. He'll use up a good chunk of that blood time. So just kind of preparing you guys at home for that. Really enjoy watching this kid wrestle. He's a two-time national prep place winner. He was third as a freshman back in 2023, and then was a runner-up last year at 132 pounds. Committed to Princeton, while Dillard staying home in the Lehigh Valley, the senior, number 7 in the country. He's headed to Lehigh next season. Exciting pickup for the Mountain Hawks.
Yeah, you gotta love the Mountain Hawks and their tradition, and just a scrappy school that has some absolute great guys. John Trenge. I mean, they've had just some superstars over the years, and I love to see that their tradition continues.
Nice job by Dillard. Able to kick away for the escape. He takes a 1-0 lead. And if the match continues to trend this way, I'm really thinking about it if I'm Tyler Conroy about going underneath Dillard. Dillard, a really tough rider, just as we saw last match with Vincenzo Anello. He's not really going to jump off the page at you from the top position, but he's going to ride tough. So if I'm Conroy, I'm letting that play through my head here. Maybe not while I'm wrestling currently the rest of the second period out, but I'm thinking about it in this break headed to the third.
Yeah. And anyone who wrestled and placed in both the Ironman, and I don't care if you placed, even if you won a couple matches in the Ironman Beast, you deserve a medal just for that. I mean, it's just incredible that what some of these kids are doing, the level of competition, and how proud you got to be of some of these high school teams that just put it on the line against teams every week.
Yeah, Dillard last week finished 4th at Ironman at 138 pounds, while Conroy in the same bracket finished 8th. And these guys just pick up placements at all the toughest tournaments in the country. Just really, really solid guys. And we're going to tick down the final few seconds of the second period. Head to the third, 1-0 Dillard. And Conroy looks to his corner. They're telling him go bottom. That's what he's going to do. So Conroy, you got to explode up here. You don't want to waste time. Let Dillard slide in a boot, and that's where he's good, is getting that leg ride going, figure 4. And he makes it tough on everybody. So I'm Conroy. I'm sealing off, exploding up to my feet. Gets up to his feet right away. Nice job. Nice lift and return by Dillard. Gets him flattened out.
You called it perfect on that one. Absolutely.
And Dillard slides in that left boot, gets it in, now working the figure 4, able to work him down to his belly.
You know, it's funny, leg riding kind of goes in cycles where it's really popular and it's not. And, you know, it's kind of seeing like a little bit of a resurgence. We were talking earlier about Mitch Clark and riding legs and his boot camps and stuff. And, you know, we teched in the first period in the NCAA finals with the legs. But, you know, just to see legmen that can do it is like a work of art.
It is. The guys that are good at it, they're great at it. And the guys like me personally, I was never a leg rider, so like I would be lost in a leg ride. I would actively avoid letting my legs slide in.
Like you roll through and end up with your leg in, you're like, oh, this isn't good.
And
I gotta cut myself from the situation.
And I'm freaking out, just wanting to give the guy an escape, just to actively avoid the position. But the guys that are good at it, they're great at it. And here's another example of a guy that's great at it, is Dillard. As we go back on blood time for Conroy here, we'll see another great leg rider in our next match with Tyler DeCraker of Lake Highland Prep. He's really strong leg rider.
Yeah, he's a grinder. We got to watch him in a couple earlier matches, and he somehow is the opposite of what you were saying. Every situation he ends up with a leg in, and then he knows exactly what to do, and he can dominate from that position. I always say that about really good guys. Somehow they end up in these positions where they're strong all the time, and it might not be it's just a natural ability for them to get to their strong positions.
Yeah, it's a lot of feel. It's
reps, obviously, and it's just confidence. Confidence in every position, knowing that you've been there, knowing how to win the position, and I think that's something that's really kind of gotten better at the high school level, as we mentioned earlier. Just these guys have been in every single position about out there that you can be in, and they feel confident. Back on the restart, Granby by Conroy. Now he's in position here, working for a reversal. Dillard's still on top here, can't lock his hands, but staying with that far ankle, and man, nice follow by Dillard. Little, kind of like a foot kick, kicked his foot off to get it clear and just followed the hips, circle behind. And man, that was real fluid there.
Yeah, it's been a treat to watch these two guys just kind of flow through these positions. Not a ton of points scored, but just really some high-level flow wrestling through the positions. Great for young kids to watch stuff like this, too.
If you're Conway, you got to be kicking yourself right now that you were working for that reversal. And man, you lose it just like that when you're in great position. Now Dillard looking to slide his leg back in. Knee slide up to his feet for Conroy. He's fighting hands. Dillard's got that figure four, trying to stretch him out here, and he's able to bring him down. Now in good position with him broken down. 40 seconds to go in the third period. Dillard working on a power half now. This is where he wants to be.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. When those legs flip up like that, that means he's got it in there tight, and start working on the top half to try and turn.
Yeah, getting him stretched out, really arching in. Now he had a bar on the right side for a moment.
Yeah, the worst is in
gonna get stopped once again for blood here, as you saw the kind of a mean crossface working there for Dillard. Blood's gonna start up again here for Conroy.
Yeah, talking about leg wrestlers, the worst is like, high school or college or whatever. They call for a 30-minute grind match and you accidentally get stuck with a leg rider. That's the worst. That's when you really know leg riding is an absolute game changer. When you're getting ridden out for 30 minutes.
Trust me, I've been there, man. I used to have to go with Zane Rutherford in the room, and it was about as bad as it sounds.
That's how you build character.
Yeah. Not going to get really much more adversity in life than that.
That's right. It's not going to get worse than that no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Seeing Rutherford on your back for 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's not great. Him, Casey Cunningham, a lot of those guys, just brutal riders, make it hurt. Got the blood cleaned up and could play to an advantage here for Conroy, getting one last restart here. What has he got in his bag of tricks here to try to create that separation, avoid that leg coming in, and being able to earn this escape with short time to go in the third? Dillard able to pressure forward right away. Conroy up to his feet. Dillard driving him towards the out of bounds, and I was going to say that's got to be a warning on Dillard. Is he knows what he's doing here. Short time in the match. You don't want to give him an opportunity to stay in bounds and work for that escape. You take the stall call there. Just 9 seconds to go on the restart. Conroy up to his feet once again, but Dillard once again able to slide that leg in, arching in, trying to bring him back. And there's a second stall warning, though. That's going to tie the match at 1. Official saying Dillard not looking for the return there. And man, what a call.
Wow. I'm glad I didn't look away.
I can't believe he made the call there, but
he warned him on the last time they went out. He said something to him. So
got to work for the return.
The refs do a good job by getting in your ear, and I think the fans or people really can't hear that, but they're telling you what they're going to call right before they call it.
Yeah, they are very much communicating with the athletes where the match is headed and the optics of their strategies.
Now, whether or not you could hear it with the headgear is a whole nother story, but
fair.
They're saying it.
So now we're tied at 1, just 30 seconds to go in sudden victory. Keep in mind, kind of advantage Conroy now as Dillard has 2 stall warnings if we head to tiebreakers. Even though we've seen how tough Dillard is in the top position. Down to 15 to go. Haven't seen either guy really fire any off here.
Yeah, Dillard's got to be kind of reeling a little bit, thinking, hey, I was right there. I was 1 second away.
Your mat return away from a title.
Yeah, now I'm right back in it, and it's a whole nother match.
Conroy's got a new sense on life here as we head to tiebreakers. I believe, it was Dillard scoring the first point. So if we were to be tied after these 2 30-second tiebreaker periods, it would go to an ultimate tiebreaker, and it would be Dillard's choice.
Would he take top or bottom?
That's where it gets interesting with those stall calls. I don't know, man. I guess we'll see how this kind of dictates that as Dillard goes down to start the first third period tiebreaker. He's up to his feet right away. Conroy staying with him. And as he takes him towards the out-of-bounds line, they go out, just 5 seconds ticked off the clock. And I mean, good effort exploding there right off the whistle by Dillard. And if you're Conroy, man, you got to be mindful too. You want to try to avoid giving up a stall warning, but you got to work for the ride here as tough as possible.
Dillard right up off that whistle.
Once again, but this time, nice chop by Conroy. Got a little better bite there. Just sagging to that left side with the chop, and got to be smart here. You want to get your hips recovered. Don't want to just hang out here, but he's got Dillard flattened out. And wow, great breakdown and effort here by Conroy with short time to go in the first 30 seconds. And he'll get choice in this second 30-second tiebreaker.
You got to give props to Conroy. In a lot of ways, he looked dead in the water for much of this match, but he's right there with 30-second in the second 30-second overtime. I'm seeing a little more blood here, but
yeah, we're going to go on more blood time for Conroy before this second tiebreaker. He is going to go down to start this second 30-second tiebreaker. Dillard's got to ride him out here in order to force ultimate tiebreaker, or if he were to get a turn or something along the lines of that. Score is still tied after this. We will head to the 30-second ultimate tiebreaker,
and
where it would be
Dillard's
choice.
Yeah,
off the first
scores first. Yeah.
Yep. But Conroy, you know that Dillard has those 2 stall warnings. Explode to your feet, kind of put the ball in his court. He's going to have to work to return you to avoid giving up a stall warning. You don't want to let Dillard get that fast start and slide that boot in, though.
I mean, you gotta give the ref credit for calling that with 1 second left. I mean, it was the right call. I thought it, and I thought, no way he's going to call that. But
Same thing was in my head.
Yeah,
wow, he's not working for a return here. You just don't see it called very often. But like you said, props to the official. Second 30-second tiebreaker. This time, Dillard gets a bite on that leg, gets it right in, able to break him down. Nice work. Looks like he's probably saying right now, I'll see you in 30 seconds.
That's right.
He slides both boots in, got him extended out. Now, I was going to say, you do see in the tiebreakers, the way they call this is a little bit different than they would if this was in the middle of the second period. They will to give the guy a stalemate if action's not improving off that leg ride. And we've seen that in national finals, I think back to 2019 with Dayton Fix and Nick Siriano. They gave Siriano a restart, and then he was able to get the escape.
You know he didn't grab his headgear, right? Oh, maybe he did. I forget. I can't remember now. Rutgers second national champion.
And Dillard able to get the ride out now, though, as he throws the boots back in, and nice work. It's Dillard's choice in this ultimate tiebreaker, and it looks like he chose top here.
Wow.
And you got to be feeling good after getting that ride out, though. You felt the leg. You were able to get to your leg ride. Now, Conroy, it's really on you. If Dillard rides out here, he gets the win. If Conroy gets away, it's over.
We were talking earlier, if you know you're a leg rider, in ultimate tiebreaker, if you take top, you're a leg rider.
Yep.
And he's got it in here.
He's got the bite on that leg, figure 4 in, now sliding both boots in, getting Conroy stretched out here.
How long are they going to let it burn?
And there's a stalemate.
Not long.
It's got to be
not long.
It's got to be frustrating as Dillard here, as you've gotten 2 really clean breakdowns flattened out with your signature ride in, and they're giving stalemates, but that's the way they call it here in tiebreakers. And switch, almost got hip separation there. Did Conroy staying glued to him as Dillard able to slide that leg in for a moment. Nice job following here by Dillard, but Conroy continuing to kind of jump back and forth and reach for the head, but ultimately it's going to be Keanu Dillard in a marathon match. Gets the win, 1-1 ultimate tiebreaker ride out for Dillard. And man, Dillard had a lot going against him here after that second stall warning at the end of the third, but he was able to stay tough, stay focused, grind out a win here. Not really a favorable way, a way you would want to win a match, but he's able to get it done for his first Beast title.
And props to Conroy. Wrestled a great, masterful match, and he kept going up till the end. He ran into a heck of a leg rider and just threw cold water on that attempt to win his first Beast title.
See the mat returns and riding ability of Dillard here. And this was the end. Dillard's effort to stay in this crab ride to avoid giving up an escape or reversal, and that's what won it for Dillard. And here we go, a 144-pound championship final here. We got number 3, Tyler DeCraker of Lake Highland Prep in the red, white, and blue singlet, red ankle band, taking on Matthew O'Neill out of Malvern Prep, ranked number 8 in the country, blue and silver singlet, green ankle band.
Yeah, and at 144 pounds, I was going to mention that our high school, Cape Henlopen, had their first placer in a couple years at 5th place at 144, Grayson Davis. He's a freshman. So, you know, for a local high school to have a placer, I think Delaware only had 2 this year. Ben Donato from Cesar Rodney at 113 and Grayson Davis at 144. So
both these guys were competed in the Ironman last week. It was a 2nd place finish for DeCraker as he fell in a tough 4-0 decision to number 1 Jordan Rainey. And Matt O'Neill finishing up in 5th place.
We were talking about putting Tennessee on the map with nationally ranked guys and everything, but the Rainey brothers in Kentucky.
Yeah, just 2 of my absolute favorite guys to watch in high school right now. Going to be sad to see them go, but excited to watch them in college. They're both headed to Okie State. O'Neill in this front headlock. You see DeCraker controlling the elbow. And both these guys, for very different reasons, are very fun to watch, but O'Neill picks up a stall warning there as DeCraker drives him out of bounds. DeCraker, beautiful slide by, really good from the top position, and just super athletic. Opposite opposing body types here once again, and O'Neill, good scrambler, loves the scrambles, can get to a cradle from just about anywhere, and also really tough from the top position.
Yeah, and Okie State just doing a great job on the recruiting trail, picking up some absolute studs in the portal too, for that matter. David Taylor, you had to know he was going to do something to put together a good program like that, so it's good to see and get some parity in that. You know, Jax Forrest, who was here today, wasn't wrestling, but you know, going to Okie State, he's wearing his Okie stuff and did a little bit of help coaching, so that was nice to see.
Yeah, Jack's little brother wrestling in this tournament, Jameson. I was able to watch him a little bit. Next up and comer for Bishop McCourt, but got short time to go here in the first. It was not too much action in that first one. It was mainly just DeCraker trying to take ground on O'Neill, picked up a stall warning against O'Neill.
You know, looking at all these Malvern guys, you got to think they have a pretty good dual team. I mean,
Malvern, the coaching staff there does an incredible job of these guys that are a little bit not as well known, young guys, just they're always ready to scrap, and they always perform so well at these national level tournaments. As I mentioned, currently in 3rd place here, looking to kind of go up, possibly go up to 2nd place here later on in the finals. And had a strong performance last week at Ironman as well. I believe a top 4 finish. DeCraker getting to work on top as O'Neill goes down. As I mentioned, both these guys are super tough in the top position. Leg in for DeCraker, working on the power half. And we've seen a lot more than what you kind of typically see. A lot of this match, these finals matches have come down to top and bottom, the mat wrestling. So we've seen a couple matches completely won in the top position. Both Anello and DeCraker, or not DeCraker, excuse me, Dillard in our last bout.
Just looking at the leg ride that DeCraker's putting on, I mean, it's hard to see. It's hard to see getting out of that. I mean,
for sure. Stalemate's going to be the call with 1:02 to go. And that's one way to get out of it if you're O'Neill.
Yeah, pray for a stalemate. That's about the best you could hope for.
Especially with a guy that's got this like stocky body type in DeCraker, it's going to be hard to get under a leg or kind of be able to catch an arm as he's just really compact.
Yeah, usually it's a longer guy that rides legs like that, but he's an unusual one for sure.
DeCraker, as I mentioned, number 3 in the country. He's a senior, committed to Minnesota. A big pickup for the Gophers. I believe he was originally committed to Ohio State and then make the flip over to Minnesota. Hand control, and O'Neill's really close to getting out. DeCraker staying on this elbow, controlling the arm, but they're going to award the escape as O'Neill clears. So good effort there by O'Neill to pick up that escape, and what was looking like a strong ride coming for DeCraker. Now O'Neill's got DeCraker on the edge, going to shoot him out of bounds. We come back center with 34 seconds to go. O'Neill, just a sophomore, ranked number 8 at 144 pounds. I believe he finished 3rd here a year ago.
Super 32 champ, 2-time Beast of the East, finalist, 4-time Fargo All-American.
And DeCraker, he was 2nd here a year ago, fell to Aaron Seidel in the finals, now that I just thought of it.
Yeah, Aaron Seidel, winningest wrestler in Pennsylvania history, which is no easy feat whatsoever.
Yeah, the final last year between him and Jax Forrest was just unbelievable. I got to call that match, and
It was one of the best high school matches I've ever seen. Probably go down as of right now, the most historic Pennsylvania State final. That's how the second period's going to end. It's a 1-0 lead for O'Neill after that escape, and DeCraker's really thinking about going underneath O'Neill. So he was looking to his corner. They tell him to go down, so he's going to. O'Neill also incredibly tough in the top position. He's your more traditional leg rider with the long frame.
Yeah, I mean, how good is Jax Forrest that he was the favorite against the winningest wrestler in the history of Pennsylvania, and that match delivered on all the hype, without a doubt.
Absolutely incredible. DeCraker hits a roll. O'Neill able to follow, slide his leg in. They're going to stop for potentially dangerous. Keep in mind, like with that call, as we saw earlier, I believe in the 106-pound final, O'Neill already with the stall warning. You don't want to give up another one by DeCraker popping up to his feet and you throwing your leg in. So you got to be a little heady here if you're O'Neill. This time, DeCraker rolls. O'Neill side headlock. This is where he's good and able to kind of take advantage of that length where his hips can kind of be sliding off, but he can be in good position still and still able to slide that leg in. And that's an example of where I can see the official hitting O'Neill for a stall warning, as you saw him kind of pop up and throw both legs in, bring his foot up off the mat to get that stalemate.
And we've been talking that a lot in the finals, like you said, 106. Like the guy put the leg in, then he stood up to get the potentially dangerous. That's on the bottom guy, or the guy stood up and he puts the leg in to avoid him from getting out. That's on the top guy. But it's a nuance. It's definitely a nuance. It
really is.
And it depends on which kid you're coaching or cheering for too.
Yeah.
It's a big factor in
Absolutely.
how it's called.
And this time it's going to be a stalemate as DeCraker popped up with the leg already in. So where things can get a little confusing of how they call this, and it kind of changes as the match goes on as well. But we're down to 1:23 to go in the third. O'Neill's still riding, but DeCraker putting in a lot of effort underneath, not making it easy on O'Neill.
And O'Neill looks more the traditional leg rider to me.
Yes, for
than
sure.
DeCraker, but he's so effective with it.
Back to that roll once again for DeCraker, and O'Neill getting a little better bite this time, trying to get him stretched out. Hands pop up, and that's going to be the second stall warning on O'Neill. And that's where it can get a little bit confusing and frustrating, as it looked like that time it was DeCraker, legs already in, and he brings his hands up off the mat as the officials are having a word about it.
Yeah, and the Malvern coach is saying, I thought it was the other way. You can't blame the guy for saying. I mean, it's easy to understand that.
So they are going to wipe that second stall warning away, and they're actually going to warn DeCraker there, which I think is the right call.
Yeah, I do too.
Good work by the officials there, talking it over.
And I think it goes back to the tangerine shirts. I think it's calmed everybody down, and I think it's made for a much more pleasant environment here today.
132.
So, I don't understand. Yeah, maybe. Roll by DeCraker once again. Legs are in for O'Neill, trying to bring him down. Hopping over, though, trying to get those hips free. Staying with that side headlock is O'Neill. DeCraker kind of putting himself in danger now. O'Neill down on the leg, controlling both legs now. It's going to make it tough for DeCraker, but O'Neill again with that stall warning. He's got to try to improve here. And there's the second stall warning, O'Neill, and that time I think that's a correct call, and that's going to be a point for DeCraker to tie it 1.
Yeah, I think everyone's confident in that call. They talked about it before, and they kind of knew what was coming if it were to happen again, which way it was going to go. But, O'Neill's on the precipice here. He's tied one. He's right.
I believe our score table.
Yeah, I think it's 1-1.
Needs a second, or maybe a little confusion down there. Haven't put the point up yet, but points coming for DeCraker. That's going to tie the match at 1. And now DeCraker kind of putting O'Neill under pressure here. Tied at 1. O'Neill, you got to ride him out, but you can't afford giving up another stall warning either.
Yeah, it looks like they're discussing it. There you go.
There, points up on the board. So tied at 1, 46 seconds to go. And O'Neill just hasn't had a clean start yet. DeCraker's doing a nice job just popping up right away, hitting that roll to kind of throw the timing off of O'Neill.
And this would be a signature win for O'Neill for sure.
Back to that roll once again for DeCraker. And potentially dangerous to call, and everybody getting fired up down there now.
That's right. Everyone's pulling out the rule book.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a really, really interesting scenario. That it doesn't happen every match, but when it does, it can get a little frustrating.
When you have two leg riders, no one's happy.
Yep. And once again, it goes right back to it. Another potentially dangerous call, and both coaches are going to table. They're going to call DeCraker for a second stall warning. Man, just really interesting match, and these guys just can't help but keep getting in the same scenarios. Legs coming in for O'Neal. DeCraker's hitting his roll, then popping up to his feet. And that's going to give the lead, the 2-1 lead to O'Neal. It's going to make it 2-1.
What are the odds of it happening again in 36 seconds?
I would say pretty darn high.
You're going to really see someone go ballistic then.
Yeah, like I have a hard time seeing that not happen anymore. But this time, DeCraker able to get under the leg for a moment, but O'Neal back to that side headlock, trying to pull him back for near fall. Reaching up for the head is DeCraker, and hips are kind of free here. Looking for a non-controlled fall.
There it is.
Or defensive fall, at least. Up on the head is DeCraker, now going kind of side headlock Merkle position. DeCraker saying he's choking him as he was across the throat.
Is that potentially dangerous, or?
I believe that would be potentially dangerous. Side headlock just kind of got a little too tight as DeCraker tried to circle out. So potentially dangerous to call. One more restart here for DeCraker. 15 seconds to go. And you got to try to pop up right away and prevent that leg from coming in. Just hasn't been able to do it so far. O'Neal's so good at sliding that leg in. Back to that side headlock, leg coming in. DeCraker under it once again, hits a roll. Down to 10 seconds to go. Hands pop up. Second stall warning on O'Neal, and that's going to tie the match at 2. Man, this is just like one of the craziest matches I've ever seen with the calls. That's going to tie the match at 2 with 10 seconds to go.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I absolutely am following it and agree with the referee. I cannot believe I'm saying this out loud. I think they're right. I absolutely do. Everyone's mad.
Yeah, I mean, it's like both guys are kind of putting themselves in this situation. So at that point, you got to say, like, it's kind of even. So you're kind of giving the calls back and forth.
What's going to happen in OT if it goes to OT? Because you got to keep track of it in your head as the ref, you know?
Each guy with 2 stall warnings, yeah. Leg comes back inside headlock for O'Neal, and he's looking for the full third period ride out.
Wow. 3 stall calls in that third period right now?
Actually, no, it was 3 stall calls on O'Neal.
3 on O'Neal.
2 points and 2 on DeCraker. So O'Neal with 3 stall warnings, DeCraker with 2. We're headed to sudden victory, tied at 2. And I'm sure DeCraker at this point is just kind of happy to be up on his feet.
And O'Neal wrote him out, which is the craziest with all those calls. Yeah, DeCraker's like, I'm not going back under. I'm ending it here.
Yeah, if you're DeCraker, you got to want to, either of these guys, you've got to try to finish this match up on your feet, not let it come down to situations like that.
You don't want to take bottom in 30 seconds.
And DeCraker in on the single leg, chest wrap by O'Neal. Hook in the elbow is DeCraker. This is where O'Neal makes it really tough in these scrambles with that length. He can sit corner from weird positions. Head under the foot for DeCraker. He's going to try to pop up here, get his knees under him, but crotch lock for O'Neal. Now kind of getting heavy on that knee on the back of the head, trying to get that heel loose. Going to be stalemated with 21 seconds to go.
Wow.
Great defense there by O'Neal.
Unbelievable by O'Neal.
Man, what a match.
This is going to be the one you go back to watch the tape. You got to go back and watch the tape on this one. Be watching it on the ride home like, what was going on?
What happened?
What happened here?
Down under 10 seconds to go in sudden victory, and it looks like we're kind of destined for tiebreakers. And just like we saw in our last match, keep in mind O'Neal scored the first point, so if we were to head to an ultimate tiebreaker, it would be his choice. O'Neal with 3 stall warnings, DeCraker with 2, so that also comes into play here. As we've seen.
See, I would think DeCraker would not want to be going to that, and he kind of shrugged his shoulders like, yeah, all right, let's go, let's do it.
He's confident
whatever,
in his mat wrestling.
That's it.
O'Neal goes down to start the first 30-second tiebreaker. It's going to be a caution on DeCraker. I believe that would be his first.
I'd like to read the old school scorebook on this one. All the moves. Yeah, you need a really good wrestling manager to keep this going.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Live updates on this one would be tough. O'Neal square trying to break the lock with DeCraker. DeCraker down in the leg. DeCraker with stall warnings. And he's trying to improve here. O'Neal kind of odd spot here with that inside leg hook. Looking for a reversal though. He's got lock broke. DeCraker trying to stay down on the leg, pop his head out the back door. O'Neal with the side headlock, trying to slide the boots in for a reversal. But no score there, no change. The call by the official. So Officially going to be a full 30-second ride out for DeCraker.
You got to take your hats off to both these young gentlemen, just battling it out in all kinds of crazy positions.
Yeah, and maintaining their composure up to this point as well. This could be a match. I mean, it's been craziness and some odd calls, some odd positioning. This is where you can see a lot of guys that maybe not as mature, not as seasoned as these two would kind of lose their focus. But these guys have done a really nice job, and we're into the 8th minute of wrestling here, and both these guys still going after it. As DeCraker's going down to start the second 30-second tiebreaker. O'Neal's got a ride here to force the ultimate tiebreaker. So he goes side headlock once again, roll by DeCraker. He's under the leg. O'Neal trying to stretch him out, but DeCraker going up to the head. O'Neal looking for near fall. DeCraker saying he's on the throat once again. Saying that side headlock's tight.
It is.
Yeah, you can see just like the discoloration on the face of DeCraker, man, taking the air out of him.
Yeah, these guys are both keeping their composure, the coaches and the parents. So, that's a trifecta right there.
Yeah, I could say if I was in the corner right now, I'd have a hard time maintaining my composure here. I don't know if I've ever called back-to-back ultimate tiebreaker matches, so this might be a first for me here. As O'Neal throws the leg back in, side headlock, DeCraker popping up, and he's kind of thinking about popping up to your feet. You don't know what the official's going to call here. And I don't think the official wants to make the call anymore, as he calls it potentially dangerous.
And with 150 coming up, I doubt we're going to go 3 in a row.
Yeah, I would have a hard time.
I would have a hard time believing that.
Yeah, if you told me that, I would have a really hard time believing it.
So our streak might end here.
Just 6 seconds to go for O'Neal to get the full 30 ride out, and then it would be his choice of ultimate tiebreaker. Looked like a caution on O'Neal there personally, but he's going to get the ride out. Both guys ride out. O'Neal's choice in the ultimate tiebreaker as he looks to his corner.
What are they saying? Top. I did notice that the Lake Highland prep coach had his sweatpants tucked into his socks. Yeah. So that is a big, that's a fashion statement.
Yeah, I've seen him everywhere. He's always rolling with that look.
That's important.
Respect.
I love it. I love it.
And I believe it's O'Neal's choice. I don't know that he's signaled choice yet. I think a little bit more confusion going on down there as the Malvern prep coach heads to the table. Oh, nobody remembers who scored the first point. It was O'Neal.
It was O'Neal, yeah.
Who got the escape in the second period.
Because it was 1-0 for a while.
Yeah, and he almost was able to ride that, but all the stall warnings and craziness in the third period, it brought us here.
It takes so much mental toughness to just be locked in for this whole amount of time, this whole weekend, this whole day and everything. And, hats off to both these guys, just staying locked in, focused.
Yeah, and it kind of goes unsaid a lot. Just winning in a non-ideal way, a way you're not used to winning, is super, super tough at all levels of wrestling, especially at the high school level. Just you're not put in these kind of situations that often when you're a really high-level guy.
Anybody can win 12-0. That's easy. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that absolutely tests everything about you.
There's a caution on O'Neal. I believe that might be his second, so he's got to be smart here. Ultimate tiebreaker. He chose top. So he's got to ride here. DeCraker's got to find a way to get out, or any stall warnings would end it. DeCraker right away turns back into him looking for a reversal, and he's holding O'Neal on his back. And they're going to award the reversal and near fall. That's match. No matter what happens here, they're just going to call it here. 3 near fall for DeCraker. I believe that's going to be a 7-2 final.
And DeCraker almost hit that 4 or 5 different times. He made a slight adjustment, and it worked for him.
He just was able to kind of catch O'Neal sleeping on the restart. And Malvern Prep Corner is not happy here. Probably the craziest match I've ever called right there.
Unfortunately, I've used up all my rule knowledge, so if he's arguing something, it's going to be over my head. So we'll see. Malvern's discussing something.
But ultimately, that's it. Tyler DeCraker, 7-2 the final in ultimate tiebreaker. Unbelievably crazy match.
Great match.
Marathon match. Props to both those guys, like we said, for maintaining their composure. And number 3, Tyler DeCraker. Content with FloWrestling. FloWrestling annual subscription. Whether you're following high school, college, or freestyle, FloWrestling has you covered with live events, interviews, and much, much more. Don't miss a single moment of the action, only on FloWrestling. And here we are, 150-pound championship final here with the Beast of the East. We've got Bo Bassett and Bishop McCourt, #1 in the country, the black and gold singlet, red ankle band taking on Charlie DeSena at a Lake Highland Prep, the red, white, blue singlet, green ankle band. #1 versus #2 in the country, a Super 32 finals rematch.
And when you talk about Bassett, you talk about the pace and the machine gun mindset. I don't think we've seen a wrestler quite like him in the years that we've been covering it. And if you add up the time it took him to get all the texts, I don't think it's added up to a whole 6 minutes. I mean, he's a different kind of wrestler that we've got to really enjoy and experience over the last few years.
Just, unbelievable talent, unbelievable pace, hand fight, just things we've never seen done before in wrestling. Social media following, just how popular this kid is, and for good reason. And he's kind of turned it up to another level this year. As you see, shot by Bassett, kind of a front head pinch here for DeSena, staying with it, more of a freestyle technique. But Bassett staying on the legs, putting DeSena in danger, and DeSena's gonna have to bail. It's gonna make it 3-0 for Bassett. He's got that bottom leg Turk, catches the far shoulder, and now he's picking up near fall as he elevates that bottom leg Turk. And this is Bassett, he's kind of working a little bit harder than you normally see for a fall here, and he's close to getting it. Bassett was able to win this match back in October, a major decision in the Super 32 finals to become the first 4-time Super 32 champion. Became just the 3rd ever 4-time Ironman champ last week as he bonused his way through the tournament, and now looking to win his first Beast of the East title. This is the first time he's ever competed it here. Undefeated in his high school career. Officials still holding these 4 near fall.
Definitely working longer for the fall than we've seen in the last couple tournaments. Maybe trying to make a statement here in the finals.
He's really close to making it here. There's a short time to go. Official right in position to see the fall. It looks like Bassett's not going to be able to get it, but it's going to be a 7-0 lead after 1 period for Bassett.
Both officials here, longtime Delaware guys. They're actually brothers, and wrestled at St. Mark's and been reffing here in Delaware for quite a while. Good to see them both on the marquee matchup here tonight.
DeSena's choice to start the 2nd period. He's actually going to go neutral.
There's no good choices with Bo Bassett, I don't think.
Yeah, he can get it done from all 3 positions. You saw it with that turn. He's got a really nice tilt as well from top. And you see the pace as he takes ground in this hand fight. And just puts guys under pressure that you just never seen another high school guy do. And he's doing it at all levels, too. We saw him win the Clarion Open back in November, beat quite a few nationally ranked guys, former national qualifiers, won the Bill Farrell over a couple-time, multiple-time All-Americans, Sam Latona and Bo Bartlett.
Yeah, he beat Anthony Ashnault. I think he teched him.
Yeah, that was back in 2024. He teched Anthony Ashnault, national champion, to the Olympic trials qualifier. Bassett taking ground once again after earning that first stall warning.
Yeah, and I got to say, I've had a lot of interactions kind of with the family and him. Could not be nicer people. I mean, absolutely. Genuine good people, yeah. Which is wrestlers, it's a fitting example of what we love about the wrestling community.
Just character building at all levels. Bassett earns another stall warning. He's going to make it 8-0. Bassett is senior #1 ranked at 150 pounds, #2 on the class of 2026 big board. He's headed to Virginia Tech next year. Huge pickup for the Hokies, in what seems like almost like a kind of a game-changing move, getting Bo Bassett and Melvin Miller, just program changing for them, as they've been a blue chip team for going on the last decade now, but really putting themselves in a national title contender place with recruits like that. Bassett picks up another takedown to make it 11-0.
One of the things about Bassett's pace, he just takes people out in the deep water and takes them places that they're just not comfortable being at a pace, and it greatly affects the match, especially as it wears on. Even though a lot of them don't go long, it affects it the longer it goes.
Yeah, 100%. DeSena, as I mentioned, #2 in the country. He's also a senior, headed to Penn next year, so that's a really big pickup. I've loved watching DeSena throughout his career. He's made huge jumps in the last couple years.
I called his semi, and he absolutely was lights out. Got a tech and just looked the part of the #2 guy in the country. Yeah, just an incredible talent.
Bassett's choice to start the 3rd. He's going to go down leading 11-0. See what DeSena can get going on top here, as he is tough in the top position, but Bassett first move explodes out in 1 second.
you know, in the last few years, we've seen an influx of high school guys really wrestling well at the international level and wrestling at the open level. But, you know, these Bishop McCourt guys are on a whole nother level.
And that's going to do it for Bassett, man. Unbelievable. A 15-0 technical fall over the #2 ranked guy in the country. And Bo Bassett puts a stamp on his first and only Beast of the East tournament. Techs his way through, and he's your 150-pound Beast of the East champion.
I mean, it's hard to argue against him being the outstanding wrestler either. When you tech through and tech the #2 guy in the country, I mean, it's, you know, hats off to him and his program and how they're doing it.
Here's the replay. You saw Bassett with that first shot. DeSena go to that chest wrap, and that was about really the only defense DeSena was able to get in really most at all during the match. And as you said, that pace, it just wears on guys, just not something they've ever felt before. They are currently sitting second in the team race. I believe it's out of reach at this point for Blair Academy, as they sit in first with a 7-point lead currently with 250 points.
Okay, let's go.
Lake Highland Prep in second with 243, and Malvern Prep in third with 233 points. Looks like that's how our top three is going to finish out. But great performances by all three of those teams. So we got our final Lake Highland Prep competitor out on the mat right now. 157-pound championship final. We got Zeno Moore out of Lake Highland Prep in the red, white, and blue singlet, green ankle band, taking on Joe Monticello out of Hanover Park in the white, brown, yellow singlet, red ankle band. Nice counter out of the overhook there by Moore as he looked to go cross ankle, kind of propped his foot, looked for that ankle pick, but Monticello able to stick with it, stay square, doesn't give up the takedown.
Monticello with a tough 1-0 victory in the semifinals over Campbell and Nazareth. Just a hard-fought battle, and he's just come through the bracket here and won all different kinds of ways. A couple of techs, couple falls, and some really close matches, and he's in the final here at Beast of the East for Hanover Park.
Non-biasedly, Zeno Moore is one of my favorite guys to watch in high school right now. He's kind of maybe not so much as anymore under the radar. He was kind of going into last year, but this kid he attacks a lot, can win a lot of different ways, has a lot of different attacks, and I really enjoy watching him. He's dominated his way through this tournament, went fall, tech fall, and a 13-3 major decision over Brian Chamberlain in his semifinal to get here. Currently ranked #4 in the country, headed to Stanford next year.
I mean, how can you not be a fan of Lake Highland? I mean, they just seem like they're doing things the right way, and all these kids have seemed super respectful and hard workers, and it's got to be a great room to work out in, without a doubt. I mean, they just got stud on top of stud down there.
Absolutely. They kind of dominated their way to the national prep team title last year, and really been a mainstay in the last couple years in the national team rankings. It's a nice counter score there by Moore. So he got to his single leg, able to get that trip, go up 3-0, drags the toe, milks a couple more seconds off the clock there as we come back center with 16 to go in the first.
This is our second to last match. We're going to end up at 165. Well, Melvin Miller will finish off. He's going to be taking on from St. Peter's Prep, Paparo. So another marquee matchup to end the night.
Yeah, Melvin Miller, another one of my favorite guys, man. I got a lot of them. I'm sure it probably sounds repetitive, but
I mean, I watch Melvin Miller a lot. It's hard not to cheer for that kid, man. I mean, he is absolutely
special,
just dynamite, man. And actually, my most favorite thing is when he wrestled Giorgio Polis on the Take Me Down for $1,000 and didn't beat up on him, which because there's no way Giorgio's that good. But he hung right with him, and it was a very a pleasant match, to say the least. Did you see that one? Take Me Down for $1,000.
So we're gonna have Moore going down to start the second period. Currently leads 3-0. You see him sealing off on that left side, comes up to his feet, looking for that cross wrist. It's Monticello, but nice job by Moore turning in for his escape. Extends the lead to 4-0. And like I said, Moore's not a guy that's going to slow down. He's going to continue to fire here.
I remember his Escape the Rock final last year. He was kind of giving up a lot of like sloppy points in the finals there at 150 pounds, and just kept giving up counter scores or getting taken to his back. And he just kept firing him, man. It got him in trouble when I think he ended up getting tagged just in a weird match. But he is always going to continue to fire, always going to continue to look for more points. And like that's something as a college coach you got to be excited for, because you can take that and you can build from it.
Yeah, I remember there's a lot of those really good Iowa guys from the 80s. They'd be like, look, first 3 minutes of the match, I'm just going to score as many points as I can. I'm not even going to look at the scoreboard. Then I'll look at the scoreboard and come up with strategy, halfway through and see where I'm at. It seemed to work for them, so.
Yeah, these tournaments are important. They're definitely important, these major high school tournaments, but it's all building blocks to get yourself to the next level, and setting yourself up for success is the name of the game at the high school level. Trying to create building blocks, good habits, good techniques, good mindsets, and good strategies, and you can take that and you can run with it when you get to the next level. As it's Monticello now getting the double unders, drops it on an ankle pick himself. Was close to the takedown, just runs out of room, but Moore's going to be warned for stalling there.
Yeah, a tournament like this will test you to see where you are in your mental preparation, how close you are, or can you perform at a high level under adverse conditions against, really good competition. And, I love it. I think it's the best thing going. And I think Powerade's a good tournament, too, you're going to next weekend, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Just some of the crown jewels of high school wrestling all happened in December live on FloWrestling. We had Ironman last week, Beast this week, and Powerade next week. Just awesome start to the high school season for all these top teams. Moore looks to go drag. Monticello doing a nice job staying square. Short time to go in the second, and it'll be his choice to start the third. So Monticello decides to do here.
Looks like he's going down.
Yep, gonna go down to start the third period as Monticello. See what Moore's strategy is here. If he looks to ride, or if he wants to get back up on his feet, go after some more neutral offense.
Yeah, you don't see kids shake off coaches too much, in previous years you could a little bit shake off a coach, like if he says down or whatever, or they ask you, hey, what do you think? I'm like, I have no, I want to take top or whatever, but that's one thing I've noticed, that they've absolutely been like, we're doing this, and the kids are like, no problem.
And you got to like that. It shows trust between the coach and the athlete, and it shows that they have that relationship where they trust one another, but also that the kid is confident that he's going to have his best interests in mind as well, and they're kind of on the same page. Whereas when you start seeing disagreements, that's when there could be more problems underlying.
Yeah, because when the coach is like, I want you to go down, you're like, I really don't want to go down, but I trust you.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Alrighty.
Yeah, right. If I'm going to do what I'm told.
And nice ride coming here early for Moore. He's going spiral now, flattening out. Monticello getting him stretched out. Now throws a leg in of his own. So he's pointing up to something there.
Tweaked his knee.
Oh, he was signaling injury time. It looked like he was pointing up to his ear or something. I didn't know what was going on. Yeah, his knee locked up there. See the coach stretching him out there.
Looks like he's ready to go. Shook it out. Sometimes you got that leg in, man. It just tweaks a lot of pressure on it, and you just need a second to catch your breath, like that electric shock goes through you.
Yeah, I've been there when you're pinching, especially in leg rides, when you're doing like all that flexing. You can get like those cramps, and it feels like maybe you have a pop or something's wrong. Yeah. It's just a cramp from like straining. And nice fall there by Moore, now looking for a little tight waist chop tilt. That's Mike Palazzo in the corner for Lake Highland Prep. Just been there for a long time at Lake Highland Prep. He's been there since 2009, and man, he's just kind of grown them into one of the best coaches or best teams in the country. He's won multiple Coach of the Year awards, and as I mentioned last year, they were able to dominate through the National Prep Tournament, and what's not an easy tournament with teams like Blair Academy, Wyoming Seminary, Malvern Prep. And they just looked unstoppable there a year ago, picking up, I believe, 4 or 5 champions.
And they are loaded here again.
Yeah, a lot of good talent.
between juniors and seniors on that team. You kind of could see it coming last year, as their team was pretty much all sophomores and juniors, minus a couple seniors, and really saw it on the horizon. Like, man, this team's going to be right back next year in the mix.
And we talked about, it looks like Blair's going to, obviously win the tournament here, and we talked about them being young and having 10 sophomores. So, they're in a really good spot too.
Yeah, Lake Highland Prep currently number 5 in the country in our Flow 40 top 40 teams nationally. Well, Blair number 2, Malvern Prep number 6, and Bishop McCourt, who's going to finish off 4th here in this tournament, number 6. But Zeno Moore, full third period ride out, put on a tough ride, and an impressive performance. Not a lot of points, but just total dominance by Zeno Moore. Joe Monticello put up a tough fight, but not able to earn that escape in the third period.
Yeah, great match by both Moore and Monticello, and your Beast of the East 157-pound champ from Lake Highland Prep, Zeno Moore.
Yeah, able to go back-to-back. Won this tournament a year ago down at 150. I believe he beat Sonny Amato in that final.
Yeah, Sonny Amato from Rumson Fairhaven, right?
We're gonna go to our replay here, see some of the action. You saw the shot, nice drag, drop to the single for Moore. Able to sky it, get the trip here. Now is the only takedown of the match, and that was pretty much the difference from Zeno Moore there.
Moore just wrestles free. He just really wrestle free out there.
We're gonna head to our main event of the evening, our last championship final here, the 2025 Beast of the East. As he mentioned, man, one of the most fun guys to watch in the entire country. Melvin Miller about to take the mat.
What I've been really, really impressed about Melvin Miller is his explosiveness, but also he can attack to either side. And I think he's lefty, but I think he can attack to either side just really successfully.
Absolutely.
Just a pleasure to watch.
165-pound championship final, our main event of the evening. We got number 2 Melvin Miller of Bishop McCourt in the black, red, gold singlet. Red ankle band, you see him hit that cross pick. Beautiful attack to go up 3-0. He's taking on Josh Papyro of St. Peter's Prep. Papyro up to his feet, gets the escape.
And Papyro's had an absolute monster of a tournament, just wrestled great. But when you watch Melvin Miller wrestle, you think, man, I wish I wrestled that way. That's the feeling I get when I watch him wrestle.
I wish I could do that.
I wish I could do that. Or when you're really old, you think, maybe I was like that when I was younger. You were not. Yeah, I was not.
Miller, a 3-time Fargo champion, 2-time Super 32 champion, 2-time Pennsylvania State champion. Looking to join Bo Bassett with his first Beast title here as he throws up that underhook. We saw him compete last week at Ironman in probably the match of the year so far of the high school season between him and Jaden James of Del Barton. It was 8-5 in sudden victory for James to take over the number 1 spot, but just 2 unbelievable competitors. And right back to that cross pick for Miller, looking to cut off with a double. Papyro trying to stay square, went to kind of like that lat whip, but Miller able to drag his toe, keep it in bounds, and pick up the second takedown to extend his lead now 6-1.
And that Jaden James match was just one for the ages, just a classic. And both guys still in the top 3 or 5 in pound for pound. I mean, so, absolutely just a high-level match.
Yeah, James currently sitting number 3 pound for pound, while Miller dropped to 4. They just flipped spots as they were 3 and 4 going into that match. And the only 2 guys in front of them are Bo Bassett and Jax Forrest, so kind of makes sense. As Miller looking to lock up crossface cradle, he's gone all tech falls and falls through this tournament thus far, and he's possibly looking to close this one out here as well, as he's got the cradle locked up. Papyro doing a nice job, though, keeping a wide base here, fighting the hands. Miller just trying to get a little bit of leverage here to possibly try to roll it through, and he's able to bring him back. He's got 23 seconds to work for the fall.
Great sequence.
4 near fall in the bank for Miller. It's where you get that knee in the bottom knee in the side, try to kick that bottom leg out of the defensive wrestler. And he's close to the fall. Short time to go here in the period, and Papyro, nice work. Good fight, able to break the lock, kick his leg straight and belly out, but it's going to be a 10-1 lead after 1 for Melvin Miller.
Yeah, talking about pound for pound, it's just so wild and hard to believe that one team could have 3 in the top 5 pound for pound. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it would have been unheard of a few years ago, but some of these teams, man, like Bishop McCourt and Faith Christian Academy have put together, they're unbelievable. Faith Christian Academy, they're #1 in the country. Those teams have been battling it out for Pennsylvania State team titles the last couple of years.
Yeah, and Faith Christian didn't have any champions, I don't think, and they still won on them.
Yeah, they got one at heavyweight with Mark Effendi.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they got one.
But a lot of guys in the mix to do. And you see Miller looking to go misdirection, kind of roll, try to catch that ankle. And man, he's so fun to watch, and the motion, the length for him to be able to snatch ankles is just so impressive. A nice job by Papyro to
another super nice kid. He was sitting behind us for a lot of the tournament and couldn't be a more pleasant young man. So just kudos to that organization and how they're running things.
Looking to go collar and ankle, gets to the leg. Papyro kind of splitting, keeping that far right ankle away. Miller able to pull it in though, pick up another one as he horses him in bounds and catches that hip to go up 14-1. Oh, did they not award it? It hasn't gone up on the board. Oh, there it is. So 14-1 now for Miller, and he looks to his corner showing optional start, and he might be looking to close this one out. Another Virginia Tech Hokie commit, Miller, just a junior, #1 in the class of 2027, big board.
Yeah, looking to end this tournament with a bang, with a Tech fall in the finals. He's got 1:06 to finish it off in the second period.
We'll get to see Bishop McCourt once again next week at Powerade. They won the Powerade team title a year ago. It actually came down to Melvin Miller, the last match of the tournament. He beat Alessio Parenton
from Del Barton.
Del Barton in that final. I believe 4-3 was the final.
Great final that was.
And that won Bishop McCourt the team title over Del Barton. So it'll be fun to watch them in that field once again. Miller electing to ride, possibly looking for a turn here. So he's got the cross wrist, looking to roll it through. That left foot posted out right now for Papyro is keeping him alive, and Miller able to roll it through. Now picking up the near fall swipes, and that's going to close it out. 3 near fall for Melvin Miller. That's going to make it a 17-1 technical fall for Melvin Miller. Bishop McCourt, man, just all Texan pins through the tournament, and he's your 165-pound Beast of the East champion. Just incredible performance.
It's just wild. He looked to the corner and said, "Can I cut him?" And they said, "No, turn him."
So he just went and turned him.
So he turned him. I mean, just